This is the No Prisoners podcast. We have an excellent guest on tonight, Dave Marcolla, the real estate bad boy of Bucks County. We're going to get into it, talk about it, the growth, the life behind the mystery man, guerrilla marketing techniques, and all of the secrets of, Bucks County, because we're Bucks County's #1 investigative journalist. So stay tuned for this episode.
Correct.
Welcome to the No Prisoners podcast, Dave Marcolla.
Welcome, dude. Well, thank you, guys. It is an honor to be here.
Yeah.
It's a comfortable couch.
You got a premium parking spot. We are in Doylestown Borough, so I know it upsets you to park here. I noticed that you got a really clean spot.
Yeah.
Everything's good.
I feel like it's a good day.
Yeah. And the weather, it's, what week are we in? This is the second week or first week of October.
First week, dude.
85 degrees out or 75 degrees out. It's warm outside. Dave's still wearing shorts. Mm-hmm. He kept his feet hidden, thank God. He's informed me that blue is his favorite color.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people ask me that on the streets and things. What is your favorite color?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of upsetting because that's like one of my go-to questions.
What your favorite color is?
Yeah. Do you like what's your favorite color?
Maybe it's getting out. Like people are starting to copy you.
We're gonna run out of questions soon.
Yeah.
People start taking our questions.
It's really serious. Dave Marcolla is a realtor, an excellent one. Are you a broker too? Or
Did you say an accident wound or an excellent one?
Excellent one. Exit wound? What?
Yeah. What was the question?
What are you?
Oh, half Italian, half Irish. What? That wasn't the question.
But are you a real estate broker or a real estate agent? What are you doing professionally?
Right.
Like, inform us.
It gets tricky, right? And people don't know what it means. Real estate agent, realtor, broker. So technically, I'm a broker/owner.
Okay.
So that means I own the brokerage. I could employ a broker, but I also have been licensed to be the broker. Broker means that you can transact real estate with another brokerage, and real estate agents are sub-agents for that broker. One broker, every office has one broker, can have as many agents under them as they want.
Interesting.
Right?
Now, but I do know a little bit about you, so it's going to be interesting interviewing you today.
Well, and especially,
what do we share? I don't want to share your secrets.
Right.
But you used to be in marketing before you were a realtor, which I found quite interesting because you approach your business a little bit differently because you're already quite decorated in the field of employment.
Old. Right. So,
damn it.
And I'm excited because I know you like realtors, so I'm glad that you invited yet another one. But I grew up in the coal region of Pennsylvania.
Where specifically?
Pottsville, Pennsylvania, where Yingling beer is from, and that's about it. And I grew up very, very poor. And so my first job out of college was in Newtown. I had no idea even where it was. I had to go find it. I got there. I'm like, oh my God, this is like utopia. Everything's beautiful. Houses are big. Everybody's happy. Fancy cars. And within the first week in my first job, my boss said, so what year did you graduate from Council Rock? And I thought, wow, that's like in my mind. I was worried, to your point back then, about what if people you're not from here. You're not like us. You're not one of us. And so I realized quickly that it doesn't matter where you're from.
How old were you when this happened?
22.
So were you slightly worried you were going to be like run out of town?
Yeah, not taken seriously. My job was to grow Commerce Bank, which was new to the area. It was a New Jersey bank, and we just had really hefty goals. And I knew I looked like I was 15 at 22, so I looked too young. I knew I wasn't from the area. I had all this against me. How am I going to grow this business in a community I'm not from?
What life experience leading up to that situation or set of experiences happened that like made you think that like Newtown wouldn't accept you, or like you would have like a struggle to fit in, or authenticity, or whatever you would label that?
I think it would be probably growing up. I lived in the more poor section of the school district, if you will. It was a very rural area, and it was broad. And one whole side of the school district was all new developments, doctors, all the parents who went to college and had these, again, I'll say utopian lives. Everything looked perfect. And then there were those of us that our families were from, coal mines and grew up there and were still struggling, and parents who didn't go to college. My dad worked night shift in a factory. And the experience was not great. And the kids that grew up with the money were not very nice.
Right. So what's it feel like to kind of like live a life where you started, almost in the coal mines and transcended that? Like, do you ever look back at it with appreciation, or kind of has it been realized?
Yeah, I think so. For me, it's not, let's be real. It's not like, oh, you're a realtor, you're a broker owner. This isn't Hollywood. It's not like that level of, I don't get goosebumps. But I do try to use it to be mindful and present, because that's something that I've struggled with. I've, over the years, figured out things about myself, high anxiety, always trying to accomplish the next thing. And it comes from that time in my life where I was always trying to prove that, no, give me a shot. It doesn't matter that I'm from that side of town or whatnot.
You're the underdog.
Yeah. So that was a hindrance for a long time in my career early on, because I would just kill myself going 24/7, going to the doctor for, whatever types of ulcers and whatnot, just stressing out and seeing a psychologist. But, fast forward now, I spend much more time being mindful, realizing every day, every little thing. I think it's overly used blessed, but, I've gotten to a point where I can appreciate that a lot of other people didn't get the opportunities I did, that are still back there. Family members are still back there struggling every day. And so, yeah, I think I always keep it present, because that's what keeps me. I really honestly don't have bad days. I have situations with transactions or things that happen with clients that can really suck and can, really get you frustrated in the moment. But the day on a whole, no. Every day is good. Every day is a gift, and every day I'm psyched by the end of the day what I accomplished.
What did you said your dad worked in a factory. What kind of factory did he work in?
An aluminum factory, Alcoa Aluminum.
Interesting. How recently in your family did you have anybody like actually working in like the mines?
I don't know how long ago it was. Long after, I would recognize it. My grandfathers, both sides of my family, I'm told at 12, that's what they did. They didn't go to school. They went and worked in the mines.
Interesting.
And then eventually, the goal was to get out of the mines and get a laborer job in a more safe area, which then became factory work. And I know they all did that. And then that's what my dad grew up with. My mom worked at the department store. She worked for a plumber during the day, managing his books, and then would drop me off at my grandmother's, should go in the evening and worked at Boscov's, the local department store, and then would pick me up at 10 o'clock at my grandmother's, take me home to put me to bed, and my dad was leaving to go to work for the night. And it was just repeat.
What college did you go to?
I went to Bloomsburg because it wasn't far from home. I could keep my weekend job at the grocery store, come home, do that. I had 2 jobs up in Bloomsburg. And I knew I was paying for it, and I could afford it because it was a state school.
So you went from Bloomsburg to Commerce Bank in Newtown?
Yep.
And then, like, over the years, what did you grow? Like, professionally, you went from Commerce Bank, and then you ended up in kind of like a marketing role, from what I understand?
Yeah, again, the constant drive that I need to grow, I need to be doing better, pushed me that only 3 years after being a branch manager. First, I managed the one in Doylestown for 6 months, then Newtown for a year and a half, then both Newtown branches. And then again, at 25 or whatever I was, I got to move up. I got to get promoted. I need more. So then they gave me Eastern Montgomery County, and I had 10 branches, managing managers of those branches. And that was rough. That was probably the hardest job I've ever had. So that's where I made the plan. I'm like, all right, a year in, I'm 27. I don't want to do banking the rest of my life. So I worked with a career counselor who helped me with, figuring out what that could be and how to rework my resume to try to break into marketing, which is what I really went to college for. Got my MBA going nights part-time to LaSalle while I was at the bank. So now I had an MBA in marketing. So fast forward, I had 2 offers, one from Johnson & Johnson and one from AT&T, and I took the AT&T job because it just seemed a little bit more fun than Band-Aids. And I joined AT&T 3 months before the first ever iPhone launch and was part of that.
How was that launch?
It was a good one.
Yeah.
People liked it.
Yeah. But I mean, like,
Yeah.
how were you involved in, I guess, what part of that were you involved in?
Yeah, it was. I was hired to do the merchandising for it in the tri-state area in the retail stores. So 150 stores, PA, New Jersey, Delaware, prepping to make sure that, because Apple, I mean, if you read the story about all that, Apple was in control, right? Steve Jobs was like, all right, AT&T, it's going to be exclusive. If you're going to be the carrier, you're going to do exactly what I tell you right now. And so we had to make everything to spec, install their displays, all that kind of stuff. So it was a lot of fun. Definitely, I think one of the things that I enjoyed the most and is unique about my career is even when I was interviewed for the job and got the job, they said, do you have any questions? And this is the vice president of the area hiring me. I said, yeah. Why would you hire me? I don't even know anything about cell phones. So I always say question never to ask, but luckily it went well for me. And he said, you know what? I take my kid into that damn Commerce Bank in Horsham every weekend to count his coin in that stupid machine. I want you to do that with our AT&T stores. Start with the iPhone launch and then figure out how to make these places a place everybody wants to go. So what I look back on was that's pretty cool that he saw that connection that I didn't even see. I saw banking, telecom, but there's a pattern, and then you start to see that. I eventually went to Comcast, helped launch Xfinity Mobile, and now going into real estate. And I've tried to really pull something from all of those experiences that were the common threads, because that's what made me successful in each of these roles, and then just always grow on that and apply that. So one is this sense of experience, right? Commerce Bank, 7 days a week, America's most convenient bank. People are going to come in and they're going to love it. I had my employees greeting people when it rained at their car with an umbrella, and you wanted them literally, we would say, we want to wow them. Then with the customer experience at AT&T, and then Comcast changing that juggernaut from most hated company in America to the place to go for all your telecom needs. So that runs through, and that's my passion for what I wanted to do next. I thought about, I could do anything if I leave corporate and jump off a cliff virtually. Even to this day, at 40 years old at the time, my parents were like, oh my God, don't be a realtor. You're going to throw everything away. You're going to not have your 401k. You're not going to have this. You're not going to. And I said, yeah, but life's short. I got to try something once. So I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't know what. I thought maybe I'd have a marketing branding firm, maybe something to do with dogs. I love dogs, maybe a brewery. And then I went back to, wait, you got to fix something. There's got to be a problem to solve, because too many people, I think, follow their passion with what they enjoy. Like, oh, I really like, in my spare time, I like to fix watches. So let's start a company where I fix watches. That's great, but if nobody needs a watch fixed, how successful are you going to be at that? So I think you have to combine, yes, something you like, absolutely, that's ideal, with a problem. You got to solve the problem out there. And so for me, it was, I had been moving a lot with these job changes, and every time I had a horrible experience with the realtor. And not like devastatingly horrible, just they didn't even seem to like be proactive with anything. I felt like I was managing the real estate agent. Just extremely lackluster, womp womp, would never use the same realtor again. So I thought, why does that experience have to be that way? I remember I had dinner at the CEO of Commerce Bank at his house in Morristown, New Jersey, the largest house in New Jersey at the time, 30,000 square feet, crazy. And he said, it's not about banking. He opened it in 1973, 7 days a week banking, free checking, all that great stuff. Never heard of it before. All glass, not enclosed with, the velvet ropes. He said, I just hated going to the bank. So I thought, why not shake it up? You could do this with the post office. He was a major investor, owned 50, I think, Burger Kings, because back then in the 70s, that was crazy. If you look at the old commercials, I can have cheese and no tomato. I get to pick what's on my burger. It was just changing the expectation. And so I love that. And so I think we all need to do more of that. Look at something that's everyday humdrum and say, what would make that better?
Yeah, I would definitely say my business changed drastically when I started looking at it as somebody said, or a podcast or somewhere I was listening to, like, how much money you make is directly related to how well or how many people you help, sometimes both. And like the examples were, if you're a recording artist and you sell 1 million songs on like iTunes at the time for $1 each, and you make $1 million, like you helped 1 million people, like that's how you make $1 million. Or you solve a big problem for one person and make $1 million that way. And it really changed how I approached like the service end of construction, because it kind of was like, I was like, oh, I'm not like performing a service and getting paid. I have to like look more fundamentally at like, what is the issue here? Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's, we're helping people spend their money. Sometimes we're, redesigning something so it suits them better. Mm-hmm. It's not really, it's a privileged kind of helping. It's not like some people get the opportunity to help people on a much more, I don't know what the word would be.
Intimate level?
More intimate level, yeah. Like a nurse or a doctor. So that's interesting. I
just to add to that, I mean, that's one of the things that I enjoy too. And that's a place, I totally get it coming from a sales background where it's like every deal matters. Every house has to close. Every bank account has to get opened. I need to get paid. But when you get to a point where, luckily I'm at, where I can be a little bit more comfortable in the situation, I find myself, I'm working with clients where it's like, no, that I can see they're uncomfortable making that purchase. And as much as I could probably help them move forward and get it under contract and they get a house, I get paid, and they're probably in my mind going to be like, oh my God, we can't afford to eat. What did we just do? So I'll end up being that trusted advisor, helping them understand that, if you're not comfortable with that payment and you can't get yourself around loving a house that's lesser than that, let's just wait a year. Keep saving. Let's get you ready. That's, I think, another aspect of, not to make it all about real estate, but I think a good realtor needs to be a really good advisor. And I think when you take that approach, and it's not about the transaction and it's not about the here and now and instant gratification, that's how you build clients for life. And that's how you create that longevity where your phone just rings every few years and they need something. And because they look to you like a doctor, like, who are the few people in people's lives where they can actually say, yeah, that's who I call when I have a problem. How do you turn you into that?
I would say that's a lot of it's tough times right now for realtors that aren't, I guess, committed to what they're doing. If you are approaching it the way you are, where you're solving problems, you're not creating transactions, business is still pretty good right now. Mm-hmm. But I see a lot of realtors or listen to them either on social media or just out and about. And it's interesting to kind of hear that, there's other realtors with your approach, but a lot of realtors are interested in like the transaction and the volume of the transaction, either like the quantity of transactions or the dollar value. Mm-hmm. And if we could name names right now, I would say the people that are actually focused on solutions seem to be the ones doing a lot more business anyway.
Can we name names?
You can. But I wanted to go back to you being an entrepreneur. What else could you see Dave owning? Like, I could see Dave owning like a candy store.
Candy store?
Yeah. The Candyman can.
Huh.
Just like on the ladder, like in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, just sliding in, giving lollipops out to kids
A haberdashery.
in a respectful way. A haberdashery, like
Like
a
a seam one.
like a hat shop, maybe.
No, just, you know, buttons and really cool accents and accessories.
A button store.
Like a cigar shop without cigars.
Sure.
Just buttons.
Just a bunch of really nice coats.
Yeah, a bunch of nice coats. Seem like a man of class, you know. I can see him owning something like that.
Selling like pocket watches.
Yeah, dude. Yep. Canes.
Yeah. What if you were a pocket watch broker?
What problem would I be solving?
Time.
Yeah. You'd be keeping people. Time is money, Dave.
Nothing but time. That's the name
There
of
you go. There you go, dude. Start it up.
Do you think you're more Irish or Italian?
Italian.
Why is that?
Because I stopped drinking.
Is it sauce
Yeah.
or gravy?
It's sauce because my mom was the cook and she's Irish.
Yeah, but I think some of the Irish folks I know make better tomato sauce than
Yeah.
some of the Italians that I know. It's a little known fact that like once they stopped waging war against each other, the Italians adopted the potato and the Irish adopted the tomato.
Potato sauce.
Yeah.
That should be a thing.
Potato sauce?
Yeah.
It's probably a thing. Gilmar's a chef.
Potato sauce?
Yeah, we got potato sauce.
Can't think of any potato sauces right now. I don't think that exists.
Opportunity.
Opportunity right there.
Solve a problem.
There you go.
There's a lot of potatoes that need homes.
Entre potato.
Potato.
Ultra potato.
Yeah, that or maybe like I could see you like detailing cars, like not you specifically. You're just like a really clean dude, so I could see you solving the problems of like making cars look really good.
Every germaphobe should own a car detailer.
Yeah.
You're just very clean.
Yeah.
So when you like what did you have any other options or any ideas in mind besides being a realtor?
Thank you. Yes. So I did create, and I did do the actual like vision board thing, which I've always kind of chuckled at. But I was like, all right, let's just
Well, if you're gonna be an entrepreneur, you got to start right
right.
with a vision board.
Yeah.
Did you visualize, or just vision board?
I don't even know if that's what it's called. I wrote
Any
things down
breathing exercises
on a board.
Wim Hof.
Wim Hof. Did you clip pictures out of a magazine?
No.
You jump in cold baths of ice
No.
every morning.
Do you work out?
Yes.
What kind of workouts are you doing?
So the other things that I thought about doing.
He caught on the
Jumping jacks.
You said you had really bad ADHD, so we were trying to keep you like trying to keep you pivoting.
Right. I also don't like when other people have ADHD.
Are you saying you don't like us?
No, I didn't say that.
So back to the other opportunities. Stay on task.
Well, I went at it very methodically. So I was thinking, you know, what like owning an insurance brokerage, like a State Farm office, or now, you know, super boring, but residual, right? I get your policies, your house, your cars. Like, are you really going to waste time shopping around? You're probably just going to keep paying me. So every year I keep getting paid a percentage of your renewal, right? Plus everybody I'm bringing in. So I know people that do that and that own them. So I knew it was profitable, but then where I couldn't check the box was I couldn't get excited about that.
Yeah, I could see that. It's not really that exciting making a bunch of money.
Right.
Or you're talking about the actual physical business operating. You don't think you could get out there and sell like the Geico lady or the Progressive lady? The Geico, like, you just seem like you could get out there and sell some insurance though.
Mm-hmm.
What made you just like it just wasn't exciting in the sense that you weren't, because you're kind of doing the same thing. You're out there like speaking to a lot of people.
I could do all of that, but there's still something about opening the door in a house and going inside, and you don't know what you're going to get. Whether it's showing a house or like, what's today? Wednesday, Friday. I have somebody that contacted me on Facebook. Can you come over at 9:00 on Friday? We're thinking about selling our house, and I see your name everywhere. Yeah, I don't know what I'm in for, and I'm going to go in there cold and I'm going to leave with the listing.
You don't do any like exploratory phone calls? You just kind of just show, like, anybody that calls you, do you give them that kind of courtesy where you just show up to their house on a Friday and just kind of see what they need? Because when I talk to other realtors, they do a lot of like filtering where they, take a phone call, see if like you're the right kind of fit for them.
If they're the right kind of fit for me.
Vice versa. Either way.
Well, they should do that. They probably are doing that. But if ever I'm missing, it's probably because I just show up. So
Well, that too. Like, you're not worried about your safety ever.
no, I'm really quick.
Damn.
Yeah. It's Newtown.
You're right.
Um,
Do you sell in New Jersey?
mm-hmm.
Which do you prefer?
Pennsylvania.
Why don't you live here?
Because I got a killer deal on a house in New Jersey.
Okay. Interesting.
And it was kind of a fix it up and give it a couple years and then probably sell it and then come back to PA. But the market has just gone, as you know, so far up that, yes, I'd do pretty well selling it, but
Then
I'd
you'd
still
have to
pay
buy
the
something.
more over here.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
just staying put for now.
So one could say you're kind of trapped in New Jersey right now.
Yeah.
Dang.
But
What a life to live.
But they have a bridge, and here I am in Doylestown. So
What
it was weird though, seriously, during COVID, because I could sell in New Jersey, but I would get fined by the Pennsylvania Association of whatever, I guess the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors, if I was transacting real estate in Pennsylvania. We weren't allowed to go to the brokerage office, anything, but in New Jersey, completely opposite rules.
Dang.
So that was weird.
What recently on a podcast with Gunnar and AJ, we talked about them, AJ claimed the title of being the real estate bad boy. Your name was also in contention. What do you think makes you a superior real estate bad boy over AJ or the current belt holder, Gunnar?
I'm humble, so I'm not sure that I'm going to say that I am.
Okay.
That's for the internet, as AJ would say, to determine.
Okay.
But I would think my unique skill set in that space is probably the ramp up speed and volume of business. I haven't been in the business long. First year, 2 million, then 10 million, then 20 million, then 30 million, then opening my own brokerage. So I think it would be pretty much that. I love Gunnar, but his mom's been in real estate like 40 years. I think you don't see a lot of people just come out of nowhere and go into real estate and then be in the top 1%. So I would think that's probably my little claim.
You don't have to be humble. We were giving you a humility pass for whatever 2 minutes it took you to explain why you are clearly the real estate bad boy.
I think if you say you're humble, though, then people are less likely to be, dude, stop it. So
Interesting.
yeah.
I think this is the No Prisoners podcast, and we kind of expected you to come out of there like a cannon shot and just kind of just take it.
Can we redo that?
Nope. Too late.
Too late, dude.
People now voting that you are not the real estate bad boy.
You're
but
too humble.
Please don't
just
vote.
secretly you can be.
Don't vote.
Still, you secretly can be. You also, one thing I will say about you is you're really involved in the community, even though you're not coming to the Halloween party, which is no big deal. We're going to act like we don't care.
Unreal.
It's kind of
It's
disrespectful.
not canceled?
It's absolutely not canceled.
Okay.
I'm just saying we can't stop a good time because you're not going to be there, Dave.
That hurts.
I didn't mean it to hurt.
I mean, don't you?
But I'm not going to apologize.
You don't feel a good portion of the people won't come when they find out I won't be there?
No. I mean, maybe 3 people won't come. 3 people.
3 is
Over under 3 people.
3 is more than 1.
Yeah, but they don't like loud rooms. Yeah,
I can understand that.
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. We're trying to have a party.
Tiny space.
Tiny spaces. You're the president of the NBA.
Yes, I've been a big fan of basketball most of my life.
Yeah. Newtown Business Association. Don't be humble, Dave. People are they're like already, you're going back and forth on the humility here.
Right.
Newtown Business Association.
I'm nervous.
You run things right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Yeah, I'm up for re-election next month.
Oh,
I know.
are you like? Do you have any opposition to the presidency that you're concerned about?
Not concerned about, no.
No.
Mm-mm.
Are there other people that you're running against? Are you like unanimously in charge of Newtown right now?
There's a lot of buzz that there is
Another
secret candidate that will come out of the woodwork in the last
Dude,
moment.
stop the count.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you accept mail-in ballots? Or is it kind of like you have to show up and vote in person? Like, will you know if you win? Like, as people have to raise their hand for you?
They have to vote via SurveyMonkey.
Survey what? Monkey? Is that an app?
I think it's like a voting tool online.
Are you worried about it being hacked?
Of course.
What if you don't win?
Then we're going to do an audit. My attorneys will be called, and
Yeah.
I
can see, like, I feel like I think you're 30% joking, 70% serious. Like, he's like, you kind of look like you were just processing in the moment, like,
what would I do?
if you're like your competitors, had the capabilities. Like, for a brief second, I saw you just kind of pause and think, like, could they? No, they couldn't.
Right.
But I mean, there's Russians and stuff for hire online now.
Yeah.
You could get something overturned pretty quick. So do you think that maybe you should hire somebody preemptively to put it in your favor, or are you just going to leave it up to honest voting?
I'd prefer that we change the subject.
What does Newtown Business Association do for Newtown? And do you have to be like in business in Newtown or live in Newtown? Like, what are kind of like the criteria of that?
Yes. So Newtown Business Association has been around 72 years.
Okay.
And we have 240 business members, 250, I believe we're up to now. And we focus on, there's kind of a few tenets, making Newtown a great place to live and work.
Okay.
And do business is kind of the overarching mission. But we want to focus on how do we do that, specifically helping the members that join grow their business, make them more successful. So, for instance, there's a new business in town, a jiu-jitsu business that is looking to hold a grand opening. So we'll help orchestrate that for them. We'll get the local dignitaries, the mayor, the township supervisors, representatives out to that, do the big ribbon cutting that you see when businesses open. We hold a monthly networking event after hours where we do networking with one of your favorite things, business cards and cocktails. And then we have a member breakfast meeting as well each month where we have a topic for our members to learn about different things that could help their business, from speakers, like we had the president of the Bucks County Community College last month. And then for the community, we are the ones that put together the annual holiday parade throughout Newtown, the annual antique classic car show in Newtown, Welcome Day, which is like a downtown festival in the summer. We close down most of Newtown. And we have a business-to-business, sort of like a chamber expo that we hold as well.
240 members. That's a lot of businesses.
250.
250.
I got it wrong the first time, yeah.
Yeah, 250.
But there's like 1,100 in Newtown.
1,100 businesses.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have a little less than 25% of the businesses.
Yes, and to your question before, you don't have to be in Newtown. You just have to do business in Newtown. So we do have some that are not. They don't have a brick and mortar there, but they do have clients there.
How important do you think it is? Like, you obviously have, from my knowledge, my personal knowledge of you, you have a long-standing relationship with Newtown Business Association, because when you were at Commerce Bank back in the day,
right,
you know,
I was a member and involved.
So, like, was the Newtown Business Association something when you decided to become a realtor? you sought out the Newtown Business Association, or were there any other groups? Like, how important was like the networking environment to you?
Yeah, it was very important. So just a kind of funny aside, I remember when I hosted my first, we called them business card exchanges at Commerce Bank, and that was like a big ordeal. All these businesses were going to come in. I'm 22. I'm going to host them. We turned the whole teller line into a bar. I had like butler hors d'oeuvres. And in came Linda Mitchell, the marketing director of the Newtown Athletic Club, who was the president of the Newtown Business Association. And I was like, oh my God, this lady's important. I get to meet her. Right?
Yeah.
So dumb. Now
Were you asking me if she was important?
Yeah.
Linda, you're important.
Why did you look in the kitchen?
I was looking at the cameras.
Oh.
The kitchen's behind the cameras. For those that want to
Big
know behind
reveal.
the scenes.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
He said, "Why'd you look in the kitchen?"
He thought maybe Linda was here. What if I had the power to do that? Be like, Linda, come on
That's a
out.
good joke.
Oh my God, this is your life. So, but I'm
It was
just
important
saying,
you to like you
just thinking back again, that like be here, like be present, to think back to like that's kind of corny, but also kind of cool, right? That now that's my job, and I don't in any way think it's. I see now what she was doing. It's a lot of work.
I don't think it's corny to say that at all, because when I was a young lad, like elementary school, junior high age, I always found it really cool to meet like other kids' parents, or like the pizza shop we'd always go to. It was always cool to know somebody that owned something.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that?
Yeah,
It
every
was
time.
like, dude, like that pizza shop, like that guy.
Yeah.
And I've always carried that. I'm not as, it's, I guess, I wouldn't say I was weird about it, but it was kind of really, when I met someone's parent or something that was involved in a cool business and they owned it, I was always interested to like talk to them a little bit more than, somebody else's parent that might just be a dentist. Even if they owned their dental practice, it was more like I wanted like the restaurant owners, the car
I think it was like
dealership.
at that point in our age, it was like the local famous people.
Yeah, it was the local famous people, but like my parents and like the way we grew up, it was just kind of, my parents had good jobs, but they didn't, like they worked for, Verizon or large corporations, and it just kind of was what I knew, so thinking like, oh, this guy gets up in that building over here, he owns this building, and he goes to this place every day to sell cars. Like it was just so different than what, like the way my family was very into, get a good job, work there for 40 years, try to retire early with like, a good retirement plan, and go on vacations, twice a year, and just kind of just have that like slow build up, where I was really interested in, because I had a friend growing up that I played baseball with at a young age, and then I didn't see him in like later in elementary school through junior high. I didn't really see him that much, and then in high school I like met him again because the high schools came together, and his family owned like a landscaping business. And when we were kids, like he was just like another guy on the team, like his parents were just whatever. But then by the time we got to high school, their landscaping business was huge. So I got to see certain people like that growing up in the Newtown area, that like everybody looks at this area and they just like kind of think about the wealth. They don't really get to see like other people, such as me, or, most of the people around. Like it's cool for us to see that opportunity. And I very much growing up was like naive to the fact that the whole world wasn't like that. There's a lot of places now that I'm older that I've either traveled to or I have friends with, or, my wife also grew up kind of close to where you grew up. So
Where?
she grew up outside of Scranton, Nanticoke. Most people are just like, what is that? But I went there one time and I was like, wow, this place is like, there's
Like what?
There's like 3 traffic lights. The high school through kindergarten is on one street. It's like on a block. Whereas like we had multiple high schools.
Yeah.
And I would say that being able to kind of like make friends with the owners and then work in their restaurants and then see the successful people come into the restaurants and ask them what they did and how they did it was largely how we ended up here on like doing a podcast with people and like learning people's stories. But I would also attribute that largely to my success, because I would meet people. You would meet people that are like successful on like my level that I'm at now, which I still feel like I have like a long way to go. But then you would meet the people that were like, drove a different car every time they came in, and they would come in 5 nights a week. And you'd be like, what does that guy do? And
Sell drugs?
No, dude, he would. I mean, sometimes.
Maybe.
You don't know. You don't ask questions like that. You just believe their story, Dave.
Was the landscaper Campbell?
No.
All right.
But you would, like, I met this one guy who his business was in, like, I'm always intrigued by weird businesses. Like, it's like, how did you get into that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing work on a lady's house right now, and she's multi-generational owner of a business, and they make bells, like church bells, musical bells. She's one of 2 companies in the entire United States that do what they do. They sell to like orchestras, schools, and to see the success from like a business that makes musical bells is so cool to me.
That's insane.
Or like the one guy that would come into the restaurant when we were kids that we would see, and this guy's insanely successful. He started out like in cell phones, like selling cell phones from a store, and then bought a cell phone tower, and then like rode that technology, and then was always involved. So it was kind of like the people that were taking risks. And I was always like, damn, like, let me hear what you did, not so I can do it, but I can kind of just try and like take a little piece from each one of those people.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is people don't take enough risk, and not everybody, right? But I think it's the people who, like, I think the bar is low. When I think about my time working in Comcast and AT&T, and everybody has these 9-to-5 jobs, and they shuffle in, they go to their cubicle. And
what do you mean the bar is low for themselves as individuals?
No, I think the bar is low to become successful. What I'm saying is I think there's a lot of people that are stuck in that realm of, because I'm thinking about people that I'm good friends with, that it's like I left Comcast to go do something else, or I left AT&T to go to Comcast, and they're AT&T lifers. And like you talked about Verizon and your parents, and they're just always counting down to the retirement date because they're putting in their time like it's a work camp, so that when they finally retire, then I can go do whatever I want all day and have fun. But for now, I just make sure I'm getting the biggest paycheck I'm capable of in corporate, and don't ask any questions.
Yeah.
Because I think I remember having this conversation with my dad, and he's like, you should find something you really enjoy. And I said, Dad, that's what unsuccessful people do. What I'm doing is the right way to do it. Make a lot of money, work your ass off, and then evenings and weekends, you do what you want to do. That work is to make the money, and then the time off is to do what you want to do. And now I'm completely flipped on that. My answer is the complete opposite. And I think that most people are subscribed to that thing that I was thinking, because they're afraid, what if I say no to that, jump off the cliff, do the vision board Dave did, pick something that they think they're going to be good at, go out there and try it, and I fail. That's a whole lot of unknowns. You know what? Let me just go back to work tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm good.
Yeah, I think that that obviously comes from like the education systems, and for you had parents that like you kind of skipped a generation. Like you were supposed to do kind of like what my parents did, where you worked at a company for 40 years and then clocked out after 40 years with like a retirement plan.
Right.
And then, the generation after you is supposed to be like the entrepreneurs.
Rebel and go do it.
Yeah, because the fact that, when I see young kids now, like just starting cell phone things or like TikTok like businesses or different internet businesses, I feel privileged that I grew up or came up like just at the cusp of the internet taking over. So I still got a little taste of like the corporate kind of thing. But once I got high school age, there was like, I understand why people are scared to take those risks. But at the same time, I don't really, because I had already convinced myself by the time I was in high school that like I was just going to be in business. No matter what it was, that's what I was. So when people, sometimes it takes risks, like the most recent one is Gilmar, starting his media company. Like I've already seen him take risks, but I knew it was like a little bit uncomfortable to take a full-time risk. But it's like sometimes you just know it, and sometimes you need to kind of take that leap of faith. So for me, I've only ever really been in business for myself, other than like high school jobs. when sometimes people talk to me, they're like, "Oh, should I go out on my own or anything?" Like, I'm like, I don't know if I'm the right person to talk to. I was at a pool party this summer for a buddy's birthday, and he was like trying to convince his other buddy to like start his own business. And he's like, "Well, what do you think?" And he started running scenarios by me. I'm like, "Look, man, I'm not the right guy to ask because I've kind of always been in this role. So I have immense respect for people that, you know, midlife just are like, yeah, I'm just going to leave this comfort area and just go to this discomfort."
Mm-hmm.
But it is quite rewarding.
Yeah, and it's hard because the same thing happens to me. People will also ask me, "Should I do this? Should I do that?" And I don't know, because when I talk to, you know, close friends, and it will just be, you know, chatting about whatever in life, and sometimes it'll come up like, you know, it's crazy. Like, you were like the youngest bank manager, then the youngest regional manager, then to this, then to that, and then you went to AT&T, and then you were the first ever promoted to director in the Northeast, and then you went to Comcast and you launched Xfinity Mobile, and now you have this real estate company. I can't explain it. I was raised to be afraid of being poor and to work my ass off, and so I honestly, you know, not again a humble statement, literally, I don't think I'm like something special or anything, you know, I have any kind of magic. I knew same thing. I was going to study business because I wanted to be in business. I thought it was cool the way people that I knew owned a business, their parents, but no idea what it would be. I had no idea what to be a banker. I never wanted to be a banker. I never wanted to work in telecom. I never wanted to be a realtor. But I've gotten, you repeat that enough times, right? If I asked myself, I'd go, yeah, go open a restaurant tomorrow, because I don't fail. I have enough confidence in myself that I can figure shit out and copy. And that's the other thing I always tell people. Find someone who's killing it that you're impressed with and copy them. Have enough confidence in yourself that you can do it equally or better than them. And that's your goal, and just go do it. Give it a little time. But if you can prove to yourself and trust yourself that you don't fail, you can do anything.
Yeah. It's interesting. Do you think that the way our education system, or I guess more abstractly, like, what do you think is contributing to this mentality that people are kind of like, they seek out the comfort in long-term employment, even though to me that like seems like a risk?
I think it's our society in general. I mean, I would have to think that it's gotten more difficult with the internet and the proliferation of social media, and just there's just so much that we deal with every day. You know, dogs, that you're always kind of being attacked or defending something. Everybody's always arguing or competing over something. So I think in, you know, our parents' generation and stuff, I think it was more so just don't question authority. And this is what my parents said, so this is what I'm going to go do. Now, I think it's so much unknown, right? Or, you know, what's the next outbreak? What's this? I can't afford to buy a home. Rates are crazy. I have all this college debt. I can't. All these, we're surrounded by so much unknown, I think, more so than, at least in my lifetime in the past, that I think there's comfort in one less risk, one less known. You know what? I know I have a job. I know my boss likes me. Let me focus on all the other crap I got to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's easy for people to get comfortable because, like you said, there's so many things on the outside happening to where they at least want something that's constant.
Yeah.
Something that they can just, you know, go to, get your paycheck, and then do everything else you want to do. But I think even with doing that, you're still caught in this cycle of doing the same shit every single day.
Well, I think it's important to figure out what makes you tick, so to speak. That's a common thing everybody says. But I was able to go, you know, I for years saw a psychologist, and one of the things we worked through was a lot of my frustration and anger towards my job and things like that was really based on lack of control. And I didn't even see any of that. I didn't get it because I've got 600 employees at one job, 2,000 at you know, when I moved to Comcast. What do you mean I have lack of control? There were always people above me. And that's why when people say to me, how are you, you know, president of the NBA, chairman of the Cancer Support Community, Greater Philadelphia, you own 3 businesses, you must be, no, this is the easiest I've ever had it in my life. Because I have no bosses.
Mm.
I'm in complete control because there's something in me that was the what makes you tick, right? As I went back through time, part of how I was raised, a whole other episode. But I've always been trying to prove myself to someone for, that approval, that it's okay, good job kind of thing.
Mm.
And I think that stuck with me. So figuring out, okay, so that's kind of a flaw, but how can I spin that on its head and make it a positive for me and find a way to enjoy life?
Interesting. It's kind of like your hidden superpower.
Mm-hmm.
Dave's superpower.
A hidden psycho power.
Your psycho power. Will be superhumans, or you could call them psycho-humans.
Psycho-humans.
That's a whole, we could start a whole cartoon or maybe a movie, Marvel movie.
Yeah, write it.
Psycho-humans.
Okay.
We can make it starring Dave Marcolla.
Do I have a cape? It has to be blue.
You seem too excited about the cape. I don't know if I want to reward that behavior.
Hey, why was that the first thing you said?
Yeah, he was like, "Can I get a cape?"
Could ask for goggles.
Yeah, why you wouldn't want eye protection?
From what?
Shit flying in your
The
eyes.
dangerous eyes. You're just moving so fast.
I have contacts.
Okay,
All right,
that checks out.
that's fair.
Yeah. What besides Newtown Business Association, what kind of ways are you giving back?
So Cancer Support Community Greater Philadelphia, I've been involved in that 20-some years. I'm the board chairman there, and that's special to me because that's something that my family, I had a sister pass at 27 of breast cancer, grandparents, all my grandparents, multiple aunts, uncles. So when I came to the area and I got involved in the community at 22, I sought out what would be a good cause where I can give back, and it also speaks to me. And they were just founding the organization at Doylestown Hospital. And I met the CEO at the time, and she said, "You know what? A big passion point for me is I want someone young on the board. Are you interested?" So
You were 22 years old at this time?
yep.
So you're 42 years old.
The math probably is wrong. I'm 45.
Okay.
So
Checks out.
yeah,
Gotta keep them honest, these realtors.
Humble.
better to be over than under. Right.
That's true. I mean, it's better to be above ground than in ground.
Right.
So
So what do? Well, we provide free social and emotional support to anyone touched by cancer, any age, any stage. So we're not the breast cancer cause. We're not the this, we're not the that, any kind of cancer. And we're not trying to cure it. We're not trying to treat it. You find out your wife, your loved one, your husband, whomever, your child diagnosed, you're sitting in that room with the doctor, you have cancer. And here's how we're going to treat it. That's it. And you leave and you go, oh my God, I don't even know what to do. My life is over. Or, oh my God, my wife's freaking out and I don't know how to be there for her because she tells me to get out of the room. You know, everybody deals with these things differently.
so it's not just for people with cancer.
Right.
It's the people affected by cancer.
Exactly.
So, it could be kids,
Yep.
adults, husbands, wives.
Yep. And we also do bereavement. So when and if that person passes, I have one now that he reached out to me yesterday on Facebook and said, Dave, you mentioned this before. His wife recently passed away from cancer. I can't do this. I need a plan. Can you help me? And I connected him this morning with a bereavement counselor, and we'll put him in a group with other husbands who've lost their wives, and they meet for breakfast, and they do, we create community. Our tagline is community stronger than cancer. We're just trying to help people get through what they've got to get through right now.
Interesting. So, So back when you were 22 years old, you moved to Newtown, Bucks County, and that's when the journey started. Because 20 years is, or 20 plus years, we'll say.
23.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of admirable amongst all your success that you've been involved and consistently involved in something like that. So I don't know. I think that's just really cool. I find that very admirable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and they're both. What's interesting, I like to do things to completion when I get involved with them. So I think that's probably what you're seeing. Same with the Newtown Business Association, right? I wanted to completely understand the organization, support the organization. I founded in both cases young professional groups within a young professional associate board within the MBA, within the cancer support community. We're now forming an honorary board for the cancer support community. I want to leave contributions, get to the chairmanship, have done all the jobs, and then that chapter's over.
Interesting.
And then I'll move on.
So, will like you're kind of at the top of that achievement now. Do you know what the next thing is, or are you still like active in this thing, like mentally?
I'm going to create a child actors foundation.
A child actors foundation.
I'm not sure what's next, but I will.
I was like, Jesus Christ, I've got too many jokes here. You can't do this to me.
I will forever obviously be tied into these organizations, but I get it. I said this to somebody today. I mean, we have some board members in the Cancer Support Organization that have been on the board 20 years. We have employees. One's retiring at 19 years next month. I mean, it's all admirable, but I would say I'm much more of a change agent. I'm not going to be on a board. Like whenever I talk to someone about it, what do you want me to do? Oh, the minimum give is no. Why me? What do you want me to come in and do? I can't just be there. So I think it's important to make your contribution and know when time's up and open that seat for somebody else to come in that has new, fresh ideas. Continue to support it in whatever way you can in your life. But it's exciting for them to get fresh blood, and it's exciting for me to then think about what do I want to do with this little bit of extra time next.
It is interesting you say that, because I've now had the privilege of, having, like, I can see through to a charity or supporting a charity. I can see how they're running and things. And I would say that one thing that nonprofits or charities or that whole industry don't do well is that, one, they don't really ask for help the right way. They're always like, make donations or things, but they need all of this other support behind, and they don't know how to like delegate or ask for people to help them. Mm-hmm. They're either, it's a multitude of things, like they're too shy, or they don't want to bother people, or they have all these volunteers, but they don't ask them like, oh, we need to do this. They kind of just, some of them just focus on the money. Some of them don't know how to run it. They want to do something positive. But I would think that, like, when you say you're a change agent, it makes me kind of like think about a lot of charities that are doing a great job spreading benefit to people, but could be doing so much more if they were able to have people such as yourself that are very clear, like, here, I'm here to help make a change or fix a problem or solve this, rather than just being another living body in the room.
Yeah, I think that the challenge with nonprofits is unique. Most people that are on the board of a nonprofit have not been on the board of anything else, or maybe something similar. They've probably not been in management positions in corporations. It's like turning the Titanic in many ways. Like, yes, I say I'm a change agent because that's my mindset, but do I feel like thank God I've been involved with Cancer Support Community Greater Philadelphia. A building should be named for me. No, it's little bits of progress you make. And it's a learning experience for me. I've only been the board chair for 2 years, and I'm up for election again this year, and I'm running again because I said, listen, I only did so much. It's only been 2 years. I'm not somebody who's yes, I'm a change agent, but I don't come in blowing things up. I come in and I spend the first year in that role listening, learning specific to that role. You have a CEO who runs the organization and her staff of 14 people. You don't cross that line. As the board chairman, you're not running the organization day to day. As a CEO, you don't want your board chairman telling you how to do things. That's demeaning. So understanding that dynamic and how you two partner to create, right now we're leading the strategic plan for the next 3 years. There's a lot of just unique relationship things and all of that stuff. History to the organization, major donors that are tied to this person on the board or that person or this person, you never see them, but turns out they give $100,000 a year. And so, what does that mean and what's their value? And so, I'm working through now and putting in term limits for board members, because that will help with the, like I said, shift to open seats and bring in new, fresh. But I don't want to lose anyone either. And it's very delicate. It's all relationships. And so I think all of that goes in, and all nonprofits, I think, are probably similar. And so they're often fairly dysfunctional from the outside view because there's so many dynamics at play there. There's a nonprofit that we compete against from a fundraising perspective in this same space, providing cancer support in this local market that is just running circles around us with marketing. Every business, every community you go into, they're promoting it. They're doing a sale. They're running this. They're, because they're really good at marketing, but they don't have 8 professional people that are managing 7 hospital locations and 2 major locations, Philadelphia and Warminster, delivering the licensed social support, right? We're deficient in that we can't afford to pay someone to do marketing, but that's where I want to get us to, because then we could get back to actually letting people. I talk to people that you probably never heard of us before that either, but we've been here 30 years in Warminster doing exactly what we do.
Yeah, I looked it up when you first brought it up to me and like asked to come on the show. I looked it up, and then
You asked me to come on?
I don't know if that's how it went down. I can't remember, but I'm going to say you asked to come on the show. It's respectful.
All right. That's fine.
We could, Dee, for the record, we invited Dave to come on the show because you're a prominent member of the community and doing a lot to give back, and we love that on the No Prisoners podcast.
Thank you.
Would you agree?
I agree. Yes, we support that.
You remember the one time we reached out to Dave in the group chat, and we were like, Dave, we really need you to come on the podcast.
I was like, I'm really busy.
We said, please, Dave, please. We'll give you $5.
We're doing a special episode on psycho-humans. We're willing to throw in a cape.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were like, I'll see what my schedule looks like.
You said blue cape.
Blue cape.
Blue cape.
You told us you were having a presidential year. You're up for re-election in 2 different organizations, so you're kind of a busy guy right now.
Oh, that's right. Like the people that promote movies and things. This is part of my circuit. I'm on actually a podcast tomorrow.
Yeah, you're on a podcast circuit?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's very cool that we're on the circuit with you.
It's a press run.
You're on a press run. How does it feel? Did you know that we're Bucks County's #1 investigative journalists?
I heard that in a recent podcast of yours that I watched.
Oh, but also you heard that out like when you were walking around
Yeah,
Newtown.
on the streets.
That's
People
what I
are.
meant.
This is what people are saying.
Yeah.
Not the internet. We're grassroots.
We didn't say it either.
Now, do you do consumer reports work as well?
We're always investigating. Nothing's safe from our investigations.
Okay.
Yeah, we check addresses, license plates.
Yeah. Gilmore, hacker.
Dude,
He'll get your
we
identity.
got all the computers.
We'll find out, but purely for a force for good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For
good.
sure, yeah.
We don't meddle in the dark arts.
We're not seeing what time you come in and go home, you know.
No, we're
we
not.
do that.
We don't know what your door code is. Or
Yeah,
anything
it's
like
fine.
that. Yeah,
You know what my door code is.
I do know what your door code is because you stole my lockbox.
I almost said the number right there.
Don't say the
And
number.
then I'm like, oh, that's
Say
probably
it.
his ATM pin.
It's not my ATM pin. My ATM pin is a highly sophisticated numerical digit.
It's all zeros.
32.
It is. They'll never guess. You gotta think like the people would think.
I like how you said digit, which means it's one number over and over and over. We just have to guess which
You gotta
number.
keep it guessing.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I invented a new digit.
7.
You gotta hit
7.
2 buttons at once.
Yeah.
Damn. Do you still have access to like Commerce Bank? Like, do you still talk to anybody from there, or is it completely out of business? It's TD now.
It's TD now. So some of the same people are still there, but not many.
Interesting.
They're closing locations. The one here, they closed, made a Wawa.
Ooh. They did.
Yeah.
It was a weak location.
Yeah, it was only open a few years.
Yeah.
Did so bad that they closed it.
It's kind of in a weird spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like there's a lot of traffic on that road, but people aren't getting off that road.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect spot for a Wawa.
It's a perfect spot for a Wawa because people get off the road for Wawa.
Yeah,
People don't get off the road for the bank.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to put the bank in like the most obvious of spots, like next to Starbucks in the grocery store.
It's usually by a CVS.
Ooh,
Mm.
is
They had
that business logic? You're giving us a tip?
If this was 20 years, 15 years ago, yes, because they had a deal with CVS.
Well, they say like fashion trends come back around.
Mm.
I'm wondering if business trends are going to come back around. Do you think that grassroots marketing and being involved in the community and things like that are coming back into play because of like the oversaturation on the internet?
Yes, and because
Serious question.
yeah, and because COVID gave it a boost, right? Oh, we're still all recovering from the year where we couldn't leave our houses. I think there's a whole everything goes, you hit on it. Everything goes around. You get bored with something, then it's not cool anymore. Then it comes back. So that's something that I will say is it's very rare that I think it's popping up more now. You're right, with real estate per se. When I started 5 years ago, yes, to answer your question before, I sought out the Newtown Business Association right away. I'm like, oh, hey, it's Dave. I'm back. Now it's real estate. Let me in. And just getting more involved in the community. I was doing free coffee when you stopped in the coffee shop. I would pay for your coffee, get to meet people. I just went back to what were the things we employed 15 years ago at Commerce Bank. I was giving people free newspapers at the train station, at the Yardley station when they got on the train. Oh, here, have a great day. Here's a newspaper. Inside was a coupon for a free checking account. I was at Wawa handing out in Yardley free cups of coffee. Wrapper said, get $20 when you open a checking account.
So you were just like the guy that, here comes the bank guy again.
Yep.
Just take his paper and just get on with your life.
Yep. Don't look him in the eye.
Don't look at things. How many,
But
is there a way to track how many accounts were open from those
they
individual
had codes
efforts?
on them, yeah.
Yeah, so like you
I
could
don't know
see,
the answer.
you could see like, hey, like, the train station's a hot spot.
Right.
That's interesting. I love data like that.
We did pizza boxes. So we would drop them off at local pizza shops and say, whatever one, pick a random number tonight, deliver it in this Commerce Bank pizza box. When you opened it, this is on us. It's free. Blah, blah, blah. Here's a coupon. So they wouldn't have to pay for their pizza. They'd charge us. So they were really good at guerrilla marketing. So I went back to that because that's all I know. When I decided I was going to do real estate, I'm like, man, I hope the school teaches me stuff. I don't know anything about real estate. But what I do know is how to annoy the hell out of people and get my word out there and do guerrilla marketing. So
would you say the Newtown Business Association is guerrilla marketing?
No, I think you've just combined two different things.
What would you say are your like top 5 guerrilla marketing tactics that like you yourself use or you think that like are the most effective across businesses?
Are there realtors listening?
Yeah, but are they going to do them?
They're not you, dude.
Good point.
Nobody listens. 100 people listen to this show,
Yeah.
but nobody listens to this show.
Yeah, no, I listen.
True.
It could. A few people will hear this show.
Here's what I'll say: the most successful.
Give us 5.
Fuck it, 10.
We want to win, Dave.
Win what?
Everything.
We want to thrive like you.
Yeah, you want to win
We want to
life.
drive trucks.
Mhm.
We want to win the world.
No, but what are honestly, because you do have a decent marketing resume. Not gonna lie, it's pretty nice, and you have the background in that. And like I watch you from afar.
Oh.
You've sold a property for me. There's a reason I was like, this guy's doing stuff.
Yeah, thanks for that condo.
Yeah, the condo and my lockbox. But that's no big deal. We'll talk about that later. But what are your guerrilla marketing techniques that you would recommend to say, like, you meet a new guy at the Newtown Business Association. He's a real go-getter, but new to business. You got to say, you got to do these things to be more effective.
The most important thing is to hold yourself accountable. And holding yourself accountable to what? To the number of new people that you meet each day. You yourself be the gorilla. You are the gorilla, right? So the guerrilla marketing is pick anything that you're comfortable with. I know realtors that like to knock on doors. Hi, just dropping off some candy. I'm your local realtor. I think that's awful. I would never do it. I know many of these super sweet ladies in most cases who kill it doing that. When I worked at the bank, I managed the one Commerce Bank in Newtown. This woman who was 30 years older than me managed the other one. She loved the bank. She would drop off Carol's Gourmet cakes, and everyone around town would be like, oh, you don't have a cake? Oh, okay. She was beating me because she was really, and people loved her. That was her niche, but she was banging doors. She was in front of people. For me, I like to be more engaged in people through things that revolve around leadership, being involved with the Newtown Business Association. As an example, getting myself to president, 250 businesses, they all know I'm the president. I engage with them on a one-on-one level as the president. I welcome them each year. I send them messages each year. There's a video each quarter, which Gilmar shot yesterday for me for this quarter.
It's going to be award-winning, I heard.
Yeah, and
Beautiful.
it just tells the members, hey guys, Dave Marcolla here, your president. Here's what we've got going on for the fourth quarter. There's an awesome holiday parade. You're going to want to be in it. You're going to want to sponsor. They're going to see me and they're going to immediately go, oh, and look, there's his real estate brokerage sign behind him. So finding ways to make it not a hard sale, but to get connections, to
People
meet
know you exist.
Right.
Okay.
And then figure out unique ways to manage and cultivate that relationship. So the last happy hour that you guys held, I left with 7 business cards.
Okay.
Based on the conversations and who they were, I knew I was going to handle the follow-up and what I was going to do a little bit differently.
Did you follow up with all 7, or were there 3 cards that you got on top of those 7 that you might not follow up with?
2 that I will not follow up with because they did not have their email or phone number on them.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Was that just like a power move?
I think so. I think they were like, try to find me. See?
That's interesting. I wish we're not going to promote those people, but
it's
I wonder if that works.
I don't know.
There's probably enough people out there that are like, oh man, it's like the Men in Black where you just hand them, like, what if you just got handed just a white card with no information on it? You'd be like, what the hell? But if you put just enough information on it, you're kind of like, what's this about?
Yeah. Like,
But you
don't
clearly didn't
visit this website, right?
So visit
Whatever
this
you do.
website.com.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna buy some URLs like that.
So back
when we get off, the,
Don't visit this website.
don't visit this website.
.com. Yeah.
I might be taken. But to the guerrilla tactics, that's the things that I said that I learned from the bank. Like, give value. Number one, give value. There's guerrilla tactics that are like, oh, I feel like that guy just attacked me to get in my face, right?
That happened.
That's annoying.
That happened the other day.
Yeah.
It happened to you, and then it happened to me.
That's for sure.
Same guy. Tough sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ran me down. Told me he was going to work for me for free.
Oh.
And I was like, how about you pay me to work for me?
Oh, and I know who you're talking about.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
He's a young man. He's got much to learn. It made me feel old, actually.
We're meeting. We have a meeting scheduled.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Because to me, that's I love you just poked the tiger. This is going to be fun because now we're going to find out if there's substance there, or I'm going to help you make a better first impression and get on the right track. But
do you now going back, that's like black belt level guerrilla marketing, trying to help someone better themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it typically always backfires, not necessarily just on me, but just in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not good to be like, hey, you need to change this.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's not coming to you being like, what can I change?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think like the success will be like if you, like, how do you connect with somebody like that in terms of kind of helping them? Because I think you're doing it from a healthy place where you're like, hey man, I was young once, a go-getter. Let me give you some feedback. Like, how do you approach that? And this won't come out. Your meeting will happen 3 weeks before this episode comes out. And
Can we have different versions of this depending on how the meeting goes?
Yeah. Yeah, we can cut this out for you.
What a dirtball. Love that guy. I can't say for certain. So I had a similar scenario where I ended up hiring a 22-year-old that didn't go to college, very passionate, was referred to me to be a real estate agent. And, a year later, didn't work out, and now he's in carpentry because that's what he decided ultimately his passion was.
Yeah, I think I interviewed that guy.
Yeah. So the question would be, well, like I said, most of those don't work out, right? So wasn't that kind of a waste of time for a year of you trying to help get him on the right track? And, what did he contribute? And
Well, when I met with that young individual, he was a very good guy, but I could tell he had what we talked about earlier in the podcast. He had like that looming, what do I do with myself and the rest of my whole life?
Right.
And when I met with him, I was just like, hey man, look, like, you very clearly aren't going to make a decision here, and you're probably not working here after this interview, but maybe take some time and just kind of think about, what you enjoy doing and do that.
Right.
And it's good. It's good to hear that he's, still doing it, following his passion.
And what I would say is I learned from that certain things to look for that maybe would be, clues for future that might not be the right role for him. But by the same token, I'm not stupid. I definitely got work out of him.
Yeah.
He hosted open houses. I've had him clean houses that need to be cleaned before photos. He learned that it wasn't for him and he wasn't going to produce because he didn't like sales. But it's not like I was paying him, right? Because in real estate, that's nice. Everybody's commission based. So he's learning. He's sort of my apprentice. So I'm less, it would be totally different if this was Comcast and I was interviewing somebody who was giving me those vibes, and now I'm going to go help him and I'm going to go give him a chance and hire him and pay a salary, when in the back of my mind I'm thinking, oh man, he doesn't know what he wants to do. You're right. Totally different. I would go the other way. But when it's somebody that you really want to kind of follow in my footsteps and you want to learn about this, and come along. I got a million things you can do.
Yeah. It was a really interesting, I've never had quite that proposal given to me where it's like, I'll come work for you for free and do whatever you ask me to do. And like, I felt very uncomfortable by it because I was like, you're just going to come in and absorb all this knowledge I have.
Isn't that what Gilmar said?
What Gilmar does?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love Gilmar.
So there's a relationship.
And Gilmar came to me a much different way. We met.
Had pizza at the
We
park.
had pizza and beers at the park on the canal. He convinced my wife momentarily, possibly for several weeks, that he was Muslim and didn't eat meat, even though he was eating meat and drinking beer in front of her.
Yeah.
Very gullible.
Wow.
And I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
We clicked. I said, hey, doing a podcast. I have this business. Been really wanting a full-time content guy, but I don't really know. I've never had that. I know I want that. And he was the head chef of a local restaurant and was looking to make a change. And I was like, all right, I don't know how this looks, but let's figure it out. And then Gilmar would come do the podcasts. And then Gilmar would show up occasionally. And like, I had a business partner at the time that I needed to convince of this hire. I knew the benefit, but he's not that type of guy. And I knew I was pushing him out of his comfort zone. So I told Gilmar, I was like, hey, if you come and you shoot a couple different things for free, and I can take that and show the value,
right,
you will have a job. And literally, after a couple weeks of doing that, maybe like 2-3 weeks, maybe longer, I can't really remember. I just called Gilmar and I was like, yeah, dude. And then I coached him through, like, I was like, hey, instead of us hiring you, you come to the office and you propose to work here. Because I knew that would, like, my business partner would really eat that up.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, Gilmar came in and fucking crushed it. It was like one of those plans that I had that, like, I was like, wow, this got out of control. I was like, this worked too good. I was like, Gilmar, you're hired. Thanks for coming in today. And Gilmar and me left and we smacked high fives. And I was like, dude, you're fucking in.
Yeah.
And then over the course of, the year or two that we worked together, we kind of just, Gilmar absorbed from me, I absorbed from him, and we would just kind of like, we weren't always working together, but he was working there and picking up all the good, bad, the ugly of running a business like that. And then Gilmar's strategic in his steps. He takes risks, but I don't know a lot of people that take risks strategically like he does. He garners a lot of information first, not out of fear, but it's because he wants to know what he's doing first.
Yeah.
A lot of people, particularly in the social media space, love to just get an iPhone 15 and then start a social media business the next day on Instagram. And they don't have any idea how to deal with people. Gilmar's was a chef. He ran a kitchen of people. Some of them spoke one language and the other spoke a different language. Like, he had to order inventory. Like, he's done a lot for a very young guy.
And oddly, there's no snacks.
Dude, don't let my wife hear that.
Yeah, she'll come in here
Dude,
with
she'll whip
everything.
up, dude, like, she'll start
Dude.
going.
Is that your wife? I thought that was Linda from the Knack. And what's interesting is that I used that same approach with Gilmar when we met, because you recommended that, I'm looking for somebody to help with content. And I said, I'm big on test and learn, right? So, prove to me, do a couple things for free, prove to me that it works, and then maybe I'll hire you. And so we...
And Gilmar's not out there doing shit for free for people
Well,
unless you're
that's-
like extremely special.
That's that's the point I want to make, because before we started, I got a Venmo request and I actually had to pay him. So that did not work.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to be clear here. People don't call them for freebies.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get it, so you won't either.
Yeah.
No, I feel like with Dave, you were definitely one of my first tests in, and I guess selling or trying to build that relationship where I didn't really know you. You only really heard of me, and you've only seen so much of my work and only seen so much of me. So I had to, in a way, build that trust with you and show you what it is that I could do for you. And I appreciate that experience so much. It was very beneficial for me because then I learned how to deal with someone that didn't really know anything about me or has seen my work that much, and it kind of pushed me to show more value or to be more and show more intent in the conversations we're having or the questions I'm asking you, just so you can see that I'm really interested in helping you solve that problem with content and not much so show up and just hit record and make whatever I want with an iPhone, you know?
Right.
So it was,
Not that there's anything wrong.
no,
with
I
an
think
iPhone,
there's nothing wrong with that, but it's
but
just
there's a lot that goes on behind that
exactly.
that I think people don't realize, like
Mm-hmm.
the client management, the editing, the, making people look their best.
Yeah, and also just the counseling or consulting, we were having a little bit of conversation about how to go on about posting things, and you might have picked something up from that or not. So it's just there's more that comes with just hiring me than it's just someone showing up with a camera. It's I'm helping you, with all aspects of posting and whatnot. But yeah, I did really appreciate the experience you and I had, because it was very, very beneficial to how I now conduct business in the future.
So I get a discount?
No, absolutely not.
No, you get a high five.
I love when I recommend Gilmar and people are like apprehensive, and then they're like, "Oh, there's no way that like would help my business." I was like, "Okay, it definitely doesn't sell $1 million houses. Like it definitely doesn't sell huge renovation projects at all. Definitely don't call him to help you make more money and be more successful."
Yeah.
But sometimes people hit me up and they're like, "Yo, who is that guy?"
Mm.
And those people, you just pass the phone along or the contact along. But some people don't see the value, and then it's up to Gilmar to kind of be like,
Yeah.
"Well, this is the behind the scenes of what my content can do for you. It's not about likes."
I think what's interesting is specific to the realm that I'm in. You've talked about this before. Like, do you feel realtors are pretty strong at marketing? I mean, they're almost two completely different skill sets.
Yeah.
So I for me, whether it was guerrilla marketing, much more, I would say people would tell me that I'm really good at neighborhood marketing or community marketing, right? You don't see too many realtors, but I'm seeing more of it now.
But I would say nobody, it's not so much being good at all the things you're doing. It's knowing what you're not good at.
Right, which is this.
Realtors aren't bad at marketing. Realtors. Okay. You're not wrong. So
There's no I there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's potato.
Potato.
But
Potato.
I'm saying is they're not bad at marketing. They're bad at knowing. They're not good at marketing. So they all it's not that they're bad at marketing, it's that they think they're good at marketing.
Right.
And that's a completely different thing.
It's about having your clients in front of a house holding a sign that looks like a key that says sold.
Yeah, it makes it look like you're doing business, which for some reason, if you're doing business, people think you will get more business.
Right.
And it's the quality of business you're doing that gets you more business.
Right. Well, and I think that what I've found is that people want to do business with people they like. And so I don't think it's so much about, yes, you've got to pepper in this house sold, that house sold, but you've got to, and I don't do a good job at this, I need to do more of it, and hopefully Gilmar helps, showing more of the side that people don't get to see until they interact with me. I have a lot of good testimonials. I have a lot of good clients I could tell you that would, we'll laugh over beers, we become friends. And when I meet with clients, I always tell them the first time, like, you tear up any contract, anything we've ever signed, the day that you say, "Oh God, it's Dave," just fire me. Because if we're not like best buds high-fiving at closing, I failed and I don't fail and I don't want to feel that failure.
Yeah, I want to be invited to like holiday parties at your house, Christmas dinner. I'm not going to come, but I want to be on that level. I took a new customer who I really wanted to build their house through 2 projects last week. And one of them was like a smaller project from what I have typically been doing. And the other one was like a huge project. And by the time we left both of those houses, they were my client. And it was cool to me. Like I love giving gifts to customers, like especially when we finish a project or anything. But I built this nice, my wife helped me, of course, built like these 2 nice gift baskets, chock full of like banging gifts. Like I'm not giving away like popcorn bags. Like I'm giving away like the stuff, private dinners with the Service Brothers, things like that. Because I truly, it's not so much to give them the gift, and it's really hard to tell someone how much you appreciate their business by saying, hey, I really appreciate your business. But something I learned from that whole experience, the gifts work, giftology works, but what I didn't quite realize is how much it meant to the customer for me to bring someone else to their house to show off the work that I was proud of. I thought like, you know, we just tour houses sometimes to like get the next project sold because then they can trust that we're going to do this for them. But I got a little bit of feedback from one of our past customers, and they were like, it was so cool to like help you get another project, to like let me know how it goes. And I was like, damn, I totally didn't evaluate the fact that I'm like showing off your home, like your most prized possession. I'm like, see how legit this is, and they're like, yeah, it's mine. Yeah, you know, I'd never really thought about it on level.
Well, there's also like I think something, I don't know, like they're invested in you, right? And you're getting to that through that experience. But I would say also, like I have clients that I can tell you, like, the biggest smile is when they're telling me, I told my neighbor, did they call you yet? Did they? Oh my God, they called you? Yeah, it's because I told them you're the best. You know, they're invested in you because you won them over in the process of serving them, and now they're excited to see you thrive. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the first house we went through was in a neighborhood, and historically over like
hood.
It was in a hood, yeah, a really nice one. But over the years, the last couple of years, I haven't really been working too much in neighborhoods. It's usually like the house that's not near anything else, or the neighbors. Like there's neighbors, but the house is like, it's too far away. You don't really have a relationship. But these were really nice homes, and the neighborhood's really dense with like kids, and everybody knows each other. And when we walked up to like first meet with these clients, I was like, I have to get this project because this will be my neighborhood after I'm done. And sure enough, they were like talking to me about like how many people have come past the house. And like the gentleman of the house I've grown quite fond of. And he's like, I got another one for you. See? Definitely the full kitchen, maybe a master bathroom too.
And then what you do is those pizza boxes to the neighbors.
Yeah.
With your logo, and they open it and free pizza.
But one of your realtors walked around that, not one of yours, but one of your maybe a known associate walked around the neighborhood the other day. And I was just there, like, doing just little odds and ends, like overseeing some paint work. And a realtor put red bags. Realtor, right. On red bags on every mailbox in the neighborhood of brochure bag. I wanted to walk around and take them all down.
Do you think like
who are you?
Was the red like their trademark?
No.
I
think
I don't know who it is.
Yeah, it was. I don't remember the name.
You should have reported them. I think that's illegal.
Yeah, but it's on the outside of the mailbox, not inside the mailbox.
What about the HOA? Is there an HOA?
Ooh. Digging deep.
You know, I can take care of this. Just
we might have an associate investigator on the podcast.
Oh,
Dave Marcolla.
Dave knows what's going on.
Our in-house realtor.
In the house.
In my house.
Yeah.
Literally. There's something I was going to say, and now I forgot it.
No, it was probably terrible, and you didn't want to give it out to the rest of us.
What am I most proud of?
Yeah, what are you most proud of?
In real estate specifically. you made me think about with the hood. So there's one neighborhood that the townhouses all sell for like $1 million plus,
Yeah.
and it's hard to get in there. Been around 12, 14 years.
Is this in Newtown?
I would rather not reveal.
Okay. Are they
Maybe.
brick?
No.
It's in
They're
Newtown.
straw.
And I know which neighborhood.
Are you going to try to blow their house down?
No,
But
I'm
the
a-
point of the story
is your success.
is that no one has sold more houses in that development than me. And it started with one that was my boss from Comcast. And then I went, wow, now imagine if I could get all the neighbors. And I worked with a marketing company, and I created a campaign that it sent a little travel mug with the logo of the development, my logo on the other side, little card inside of it, boxed up, went to every house.
How many houses?
120. And it said on there, scan this, I love this development, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Scan this QR code to take advantage of the special, to scan this QR code and you'll be in a elite community or something. It took you to a Facebook group that I started just for the development. So then they're joined into that. And then once they joined, I would hit them with a message because I would get alerted they joined saying, now take that travel mug to Newtown Brewing. It also holds a beer bottle, or Newtown Coffee Room, fill it with coffee. It's on me. And both businesses knew if anyone came in to claim that, they would just keep a tab and I'd pay it off.
Damn. That was 3, 4, and 5 guerrilla marketing
Thank
techniques.
God I thought of that, right? I felt like I
crazy.
left you hanging. And
That
I'm like,
was... No, we bounced around a little bit, but that's the type of stuff that
that was like 4 years ago, and I just listed a home in there 2 weeks ago, and he couldn't wait to go get the tops all broken off, everything, the logos faded on the mug. He's like, I use this every Saturday with the guys when we get together. I'm like, I'll get you a new one. No. But he
Wow.
held on to that.
That's so cool.
That's... I'm trying to do something like that.
Yeah.
I do see you in the Facebook groups, though, quite a bit.
Try. Because I also think that's a way to, like, I where I live is considered Hopewell Valley. So I created I Love Hopewell Valley Facebook group, and it didn't exist. So we're up to 4,000 members now, and I just try to consciously post every day or every other day something going on in the community, whatnot. And, people join and
Because I was already
engage.
friends with you, dare I say friends, when I started to notice your Facebook guerrilla marketing tactics. Like, you are not in charge. Sometimes you're in charge. Sometimes you're just a contributor. But you are actively contributing to these Facebook groups with huge membership numbers. Do you see a lot of... Is it more so keeping your name top of mind rather than just like actual marketing techniques, do you think? And then when they do come to time, they're like, who's that guy? Or do you see people reaching out to connect with you as like an individual? Like, how does that kind of play out most of the times?
It's a mix of those things, and I know even though you would think that there's instant gratification with Facebook and because that's the whole world, this is years in the making.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was going to be. So some of them, Newtown is a great place to live. The person who owns it was looking at one point. I happened to see a post. I'm looking for help with somebody to be a moderator. Oh, I'll do it. And so now I'm the one in there that you see like kind of managing things and everything because he doesn't want to do it. Then that got me thinking we'll create the Hopewell Valley one. But then I took it further and I've now created, pick a community, Doylestown Homes for Rent or Sale. I created that group. New Hope, Newtown, all through the area because they don't exist. And they're growing organically every day. I'm seeing 5 or 6 people joining them. And what we do is we post every other, I think Mondays we do the newest houses to go on the market for that town. Tuesday, the newest rentals. Thursday, the open houses. I think that's it. And we just repeat and repeat. And it's just a link to search results on my website. So if you clicked on, here's the newest homes in Doylestown, you click on it, you end up in my website, and it's all the homes listed in Doylestown that just hit the market that week. So that's all fair.
You're providing a service.
I'm providing a service. I'm giving them information. They're more than likely going to call me when they want to know more. but it's space that no one else tapped, so that's why I jumped on that. So some of those are specific. That's where I'm going to get the specific. Hey, can you, I'm getting it. Are there any, yesterday I got one, are there any studios in Doylestown? We're going to be coming to the area in January.
For $1,600.
Yeah.
Yeah. The lady keeps posting.
Right.
I hope she gets it. My daughter's moving to the area in 6 months. She's got a great job and no pets.
But here's the negative. It's crazy the amount of spammers. There's people posting in these groups I created. I own my own properties. We're looking for rental, submit applications. And then I see people posting, well, what town? DM me. How much is the price? DM. It's all fake. They're not even real listings. I don't know what their intent is, but
Human trafficking.
I just had one in Newtown.
Do you think they're fake though, or do you think they're just people like trying to conduct business in the DMs rather than?
No, I think they're fake.
You think they're bots?
Yeah, because its stuff doesn't make sense. There's extra spaces, and then in Newtown, I just had one. This woman's posting, block Ashley so and so. I just got scammed for $1,000 because there's this thing where they're going in all these groups saying, here we have all this stuff to sell in our house. We're moving, and then you contact them, and they're like, oh, I have somebody else that wants them too. But if you Venmo me a deposit, and then you can come meet me, and it's a fake address. And then this woman's like, I'm at $1,000. Why don't the admins do a better job keeping these spammers out of here? So it's back on us, and I always have to remind people, like, we're not paid. We don't have any special talents. We're doing our best to manage and get the spammers out of here, but also don't give someone money ahead of time. I can't help you with that decision making. So that takes time, right? So this is usually what I'm doing at like 11 o'clock at night. I'm going through before I fall asleep, the groups, and got to approve these people. That looks bad. Looks like spam. This person reported that. Hit delete on that. It's a lot.
Yeah. I noticed like the one group that I follow a lot for the comment sections is Doylestown
Uncensored.
No.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's Doylestown Neighborhood United. Based upon these comment sections, we are not united in Doylestown.
Against what?
Oh my God.
Against what?
United. But there's a Doylestown Uncensored. If you haven't found that one, I accidentally posted a listing in there, and somebody's like, "This isn't the kind of crap we want in Doylestown Uncensored." Like it was too tame.
What the hell are they posting on there?
Doylestown Uncensored. I feel like that's where we need to be posting.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Though?
We're Bucks County's #1 investigative journalists.
It was a lot of last thing I was reading in there was all about Central Bucks School District and. You can't read these books and you can't do that and all that stuff. And people F this and F that.
The banned books people.
Tell the moms to go, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Jesus, nobody should be reading these books, kids or adults. They're not good books. It's not about the content. It's just they're just not good. So if you're gonna write a controversial book, make it good.
Yeah, dude.
Good illustrations, lifelike. But apparently, I saw on one of these Facebook posts, there's apparently like fights happening at CB South. Every day, like full-on brawls.
Let's go.
And I'm like, dude, we got to get some of these parents on here, get them, get investigated.
Yeah.
I want to get to the bottom. I want to understand, like, these kids are CB South. Like, you think, this is a privileged area, but still kids got something to fight about. I want to know what it's about. South?
South of anything is going to be rough.
Yeah, I guess it is rougher in the South. South of the border, south of the Masons. It's all
there's an east and a west. Is there a north?
There's an east, a west, and a south.
No north.
There is no north.
Maybe that's something to look
into. It's another school district if you go too north. CB East is pretty north. If you go any more north than that, you're at New Hope, Soulbury.
Well,
so technically, the north is New Hope, Soulbury.
What about a hostile takeover?
They do. The schools in this area all have big rocks out front that sometimes get, sometimes people
graffiti
do some graffiti in to let the other school know, like, your colors don't run here.
Ooh,
turf war, dude. Gilmar's from a different kind of place.
There's a lot of drugs here too.
There is a lot of drugs. I think there's a lot of drugs everywhere.
No, a lot here.
What do you have to compare it to?
Other places,
like other drug places.
I think.
Would you say your high school didn't have drugs?
Correct, because that was like a long time ago. But
drugs had. You're kind of growing up in a druggy time though.
Yeah, we didn't. It was weed. That was nothing. It's not like crack and all kinds of crazy stuff.
There's crack in the schools around here.
A lot of crack.
What?
Crack cocaine.
Yeah.
What? Because you're doing crack in high school.
I don't believe this.
Holy
I
shit!
can't go any further with this topic. I'm
Did
just
you
saying
hear
that
this from an anonymous source?
when students have a lot of money at their disposal, I think there's a lot of stuff going on that gets covered up versus areas where you see a lot more and assume that there's all kinds of stuff going on and it's a rough area. And I had, it's not related to drugs, but the other day someone outside of my office, Newtown Borough, right? Quaint little historic Newtown Borough. I know you love it better than Doylestown, you're always saying.
Yeah.
And
I was never saying that.
who's someone else?
I mean, always saying what? Yeah.
So this car pulls in with a flat tire, BMW. Kid gets out. He's looking at it. It's got a flat tire. I'm guessing he's like maybe 17, 18.
Car stolen.
No. Gets out, pops out his skateboard, gets his backpack out of the other side, goes to put it on because he's going to skate home. And before he does, looks both ways, then opens up the backpack and takes a gun out and puts it behind his back in his waistband.
He could have been old enough to carry a firearm and might be permitted.
And off he goes on his skateboard with it like visibly showing because it's not like hidden, like his shirt's tucked under it. So it's like right there. And so.
Did you show him your gun?
No, it was in the shop.
Oh. He was getting work done.
But it's important, right? Because, I mean, Newtown Borough, you just never know when you're going to need to pop somebody.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure. Safety first.
that's what I say. Stay strapped, get clapped.
Yeah, you're right, man.
Yeah.
You never know.
Especially in Newtown Borough.
If you show it, you're probably not going to blow it.
There you go.
Hit me with the guns. Reach over and hit the guns.
Shit. There it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of effects there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I saw him.
So I don't know.
I think the most
I don't
important.
think you're wrong, but I don't know if you're right. That's kind of how I feel. Personally, I think there's drugs everywhere.
Crack.
I think when there's
Crack.
that's a soundbite. We're adding it up there.
Crack.
Crack.
Wasn't it Whitney Houston that said crack is whack? Y'all?
I mean, that's before my time.
Yeah, but I figured your parents told you about it. It was an important moment in
My
history.
parents didn't talk to me.
Oh, that's another episode, too.
There you go.
What is that? Stop playing the cat sound. Gilmar. Is this the Halloween episode?
Bro, Rambo's, Barclay's not about it, dude. Yo.
Yo,
Hey, it's Linda.
Shit.
live on the podcast right here. We got Barclay fighting Rambo. Like a couple of CB South students.
You called me a pussy.
Yeah, dude, you don't owe me money for that crack.
She's got a gun. So
There may or may not be guns within like an arm's reach of you right now. So let's ease it up on the gun talk, okay? Unless you're gonna get tough. Yeah. He's like, but this skateboarding kid, was it a longboard or was it like a skateboard? Was he like a
Skateboard.
surfer?
no,
Damn, what kind of car? It was a BMW?
like an older, like
Early 2000s?
no. I'm gonna
Was
say
it
90s.
white?
90s.
Black,
It was black. Did he have
two-door
tinted-
coupe,
Did he have two-door coupe?
big wheels,
Big wheels.
Ooh.
big spinners. They weren't spinning, but
Oh, okay.
you know,
He's
like,
riding spinners.
yeah.
2% tint.
So, and the end of the story, so he comes back with an SUV and loads the wheel, jacks it up, takes the wheel off, puts it in the SUV and drives off, I guess, to go replace the tire, bring it back. Probably mom's car. And I said, and I remember the quote specifically because I said, I was leaving at the time. I'm like, you all right? You good? I'm straight, man. Awesome.
But it sounds like he might be like, hey, dude, I'm into girls.
You think that's where he went with it? Like,
Who says I'm straight, man? That's not things kids are saying these days.
I think it could have
I
been.
got him.
Oh, man. It's
Dude.
so stupid.
It's so stupid.
So stupid, dude.
I don't know. You're like,
So dumb.
I'm just saying. Like, we don't know if
You think it's the way that I said, "Are you all right?" It could have been
Just
the tone.
You all right, buddy?
You were looking at his gun.
I,
Just like open your jacket.
is it weird that I winked and licked my lips? You all right?
Rub this back.
Hey, you doing all right? He's like, he pulls his gun out. He's like, stay back, man. I'm straight.
The rest of the story now makes sense.
It's
yeah.
it's all context.
What
I
I saw
I felt
was
like you were
different, but-
leaving a little bit out.
Yeah. I probably just forgot that. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I hope somehow or another this bit of information gets back to this kid,
Yeah.
and he covers his gun up. He's a little because
That's the moral of the story here.
is it if it is if
I
it,
want people to hide their guns.
well,
better.
I mean it's true. I mean you're probably a little nervous around guns because
No.
you're a banker in heart.
Dude,
Instantly.
You just instantly hands up.
I'm straight.
Take whatever you want.
I'm sure. No, but that's I always particularly care. I always love the guy in like Wawa who pulls like literally lets everybody know he's carrying a gun because somehow it lets him like he lets people know not to start shit. And I'm always like, hey buddy, you're the first person that's getting shot because everybody sees you have a gun. Of course, if I'm robbing Wawa, I'm going to shoot the guy with the gun first. I'm going to shoot him first and then announce the robbery.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. You got to be concealed with it. So I'm trying to help the skateboarding kid out.
Mm-hmm.
Let him, be a little bit safer.
What do you think about it? I mean, it's a whole other, but
Go for it. Shoot your shot.
you always see these videos, right, of like, some road rage or whatever, and then all of a sudden, and then like, oh, I'm sorry about that. And off they go. Why not just have a fake gun? You're not really going to shoot it.
Well, there's a philosophy behind it. It's called if you show it, you probably won't blow it. And if you show a gun to somebody who also has a gun, chances are they're not going to give you the opportunity. They're just going to pull theirs out and just like,
Right.
pow, pow, pow.
I mean, that's the 50%
and then you
risk.
had your gun out first and you still died.
Right,
That's embarrassing.
right.
So-
But the other 50% is they just take off because they don't have a gun.
Yeah, I mean, if I was driving, road rage incident, typically, you try to avoid those. But I think a good spark plug, like somebody pulls out a gun, you just kind of slow down a little bit and then just drop a spark plug out your window and watch their windshield shatter. I think that's the way to respond to that, like an unhealthy person. But I think if you're a healthy person, maybe, if you're a snitch, dial 911.
Snitches get stitches.
It's if you started it and then escalated it and then somebody pulled a gun out on you, you might deserve that.
Right.
So just take your licks, get back in your car, drive home, complain to your wife about the guy you almost beat up, leave out the fact that he pulled a gun and put it in you, and just act tough. Because usually people that get involved in those situations, they tend to be on crack or mentally unhealthy in some way. So
Noted.
maybe don't be like. Does this ever happen to you?
I feel like you're looking in my soul.
Yeah, because I'm worried about you, Dave.
Hey, we're investigators.
You saw someone
Right.
outside your office pretty much almost take your life.
I've had, due to road rage, I've had threats, but not that I've caused. But I don't just go, oh, whoops, sorry.
Yeah.
I kind of,
That's why you drive a big truck. You just drive them off the road, right?
right.
Exactly.
So I think what's important about marketing is that I think too many people, not related to real estate, just in general, I think too many people think they know what marketing is, and they think they have it solved. And it's social media, it's billboards, it's like they pick one thing. I think you have to be comfortable with, like you said, like, do you measure? If you gave out these coupons, if you did this, what do? I give out free cocoa in my branded mugs to everybody that comes through.
He's giving out AR-15 mags.
guns.
He's like free bullets if you buy with Dave.
It has my logo.
Oh shit.
He puts on an accent for those people that return the guns.
What kind of accent?
He's like, "Hey, I'm Dave. Buy with me."
It's very subtle.
So
Second Amendment follower. And then that's the day you drive your pickup truck.
right. Well, that is another. So I will come back because I know you don't like when I go off topic. So you do have to be a chameleon. That's another thing. Like 4 years ago or so, I had a realtor tell me that she's like, listen, you're posting this stuff about like your political point. Like you're losing half your people aren't going to do business with you. And so I resisted and I actually got some business from it. But then also I'm like, all right, valid point. You know what? If I actually look at myself, like I really want people to know who the hell I am and what I do for a living, that's what I have to focus on. I can't. It's too risky to be. So when I talk about, I need to show who I am, more of Dave. But you have to be careful, not to a point that you're polarizing or that, because I don't. Ask me, am I gonna work with a Republican? Am I gonna work with a Democrat? Am I gonna work with I'm gonna work with everybody. I love it.
I would say that you can be yourself, and you can be quite an extreme version of yourself and still not upset that many people. Because I think we're all, there are some crazies out there that we're all like, dude, that guy needs to shut the hell up. But I think for the most part, we're all a lot alike, even if we're different.
Despite those.
There's very few differences. We all want the same thing.
But if you're using that platform to market yourself and the person doesn't know you yet, I think there's some risk that you're restricting the appetite for someone to want to learn more.
I don't disagree.
So that's just my little tip. But then the other thing is all the different approaches to marketing. I do think there's got to be social media. There's got to be the mugs of cocoa given out for free at the holiday parade. There's got to be you need to be always. I do an event every year for people at my gym. I pick up the tab and pay for that. That doesn't mean that. Oh, and so therefore then I got 2 houses from that, or I can equate the dollars of revenue for the expense, or you just need to budget overall expense to spend $50,000 on those things this year. 5 here, 2 here, but be comfortable with, you may not really be able to correlate that to anything specific. It's nice when you can, and it's great, but I think if the more you can get comfortable with that and make good business decisions, don't blow your money, but make good decisions in investing in your future, because those things I just am, it's like karma and paying it forward. Like,
you're investing in the image, like Apple and things like that are irrefutable, and I think you can do that on a small scale. The only real way that I track anything is through like my lead management software. I'll track, did this person come from a referral? I'll track realtors by name, because there's certain realtors. Dude, I got to get it right, or this guy's going to have a meltdown. I don't want to hurt him. He starts twitching.
Yeah.
But I'll manage. So if a specific realtor sends me a lot of leads throughout the year, like their name is the thing.
Right.
So I can look at any given one time and look at the leads that transacted, and Instagram, Facebook. But other than that, it's really hard for me, at least for what I do. If I was doing it on a larger scale, like we were building huge neighborhoods, I think it would be easier for me to, run a specific ad campaign and then say, hey, we sold 5 houses from that one specific campaign. I'm trying more so, maybe younger me would have tried to do something dumb like that, but I'm really now honestly trying to be a part of these communities, because I've learned so much from, especially doing the podcast. Getting to know people is good for business, but it's also it's really cool to be a part of the organism that your business is happening in. The thing that's bigger than your business, which is like the community, is the only thing I could figure out. It was really cool to be seen in the community as somebody that's contributing positively to the community.
And I think ultimately what you want to get to as a business person, you want to figure out at some point, if you had an extra dollar, what would you put that towards, right? So we're talking about, how do you measure those things?
Definitely Reese's Cups.
Right. And so what's the cheapest source of new clients?
Ooh.
There's only one right answer.
I don't know.
Referrals. Referrals are free.
But I don't think they're free. I think they're the most expensive. How are they free?
Because if you did a good job, which you're going to do anyway, and you made inroads to get people to invest in you because of the way you do your business, they're naturally going to refer people to you because they feel strongly that that's a help to their friend. This is the guy you want to know. That's free versus, I sent this many postcards and they finally called. I spent this much on.
Okay.
That's what
I agree. It's definitely free on that level, but I would say from a time perspective, and time equals money, some say. Not me.
Am I being paid for this, by the way?
No, absolutely not. You're being paid in my friendship, which is like what I'm getting to. Like the podcast, sitting down with you right here is free, but I'm choosing to do this with my time to get to know you, not for the sake of getting business.
Right. You've been for a while trying to get in and spend time with me.
Yeah, you're a cool guy. But then if you give me business as a referral, like you have to appreciate like having genuine relationships with people and what that costs, because you have to pick and choose who you're friends with.
Especially that they don't have other realtors.
Yeah.
Because then that could be...
Dude, I tell people most of the time you're my guy.
Most of the time. I'll take it.
That's what I'm saying. That's honest. Most of the time
That's
you're my
fair.
guy.
But I think that's what I like most about this. Again, it doesn't have to be real estate. Just when you own your own business, I get a lot of crap from people that I know that I look up to that are successful in my business that say, "Oh man, how's it going? Where are you going to finish at this year? What's your number? What is it?" Or, "Wow, what's the commission on that one?" I don't look at any of that stuff. I honestly don't.
You were telling me this before, and I think you're crazy for not tracking any of this.
That's fine. I'm laser focused on doing and delivering and winning. And I know that whether that commission's this, that, or the other, who cares? The check's going to come. It's going to get done.
But not everybody has you've earned that privilege.
Sure. That's what I'm saying.
But not everybody's operating from that advantage where they can spend, tens of thousands of dollars on marketing and not be worried about, hey, am I getting a return on this marketing?
And that's why I don't know how to tell someone who's 22, 25, whatever, going into real estate, having never done it before in an area maybe they don't know too much, how to become wealthy. Because that's why I worked in corporate and I had a pension and I had a 401k and they paid for my higher education. And that because I couldn't have done this except at 40, where all of a sudden I saved up enough money to go, oh, what's no one else doing? They're not doing an inside cover ad every month in a luxury magazine in the local community. That's an opportunity. They're not sponsoring this great event. I knew.
You can say our events are great.
Right. These specific events that, what are they called again?
It's fine, dude. We'll just call it the event because it is that big of a deal.
It's huge. And so I think you're right. That's a very good point, right? That has nothing to do with my skill set. That has to do with money. And I think that's when I got into real estate, the first thing they tell you is don't spend a penny on marketing. That's the dumbest thing you can do. Look at Keller Williams. They promote. They don't have ads. You wouldn't know anything about them. They invest all their money into training and their agents. But I think it's because most don't have a budget for it. To your point, most agents don't come in with a marketing budget. They're getting that first deal done, and that's going to pay for backed up payments on whatever, their car payment, their rent, whatever. And then maybe they can save a little bit of that and put it into a fund, and then they get hit with all this crazy, like, we'll do this program for you. We'll do that. Spend on this Facebook ad, spend on that. And they got to figure out, where do I go with $100? What's going to make me that next big win? And the answer is none of it. So that's, a big portion. And I would tell anybody that's making that career shift later in life, if you really want to do it, this is not going to be just like, cha-ching, I'm just going to make a shift and, oh, this will work out. And where I'm at now, probably without that money, would have taken me another 5 to 10 years.
Well, I think the last thing I'll touch on before we let you go is that
Just got started.
We got to do more than one episode. We can't just give all your secrets away in just one sitting.
I'll be back next month.
Hype demand,
nice. Nice.
It's kind of like being the queen.
We should have
It's mysterious.
the queen.
Yeah, God rest her soul, dude. Long live the
It's
king.
too soon. We should do a cliffhanger.
Yeah, well, I mean, whatever you want to do. This is your show.
That's true.
But I'm saying you like, I forget what the saying is. Gilmore might be able to help me with this. It's like people that, like, if you want to go far, enjoy walking. Don't try to go far.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what the cliche way to say that is.
Yeah, I guess enjoy,
Like, if
appreciate the journey, not the destination.
yeah, like if you want to get big muscles, you have to like, you're not enjoying big muscles. You're enjoying going to the gym is the easiest way to like be successful at that.
I hate going to the gym.
Yeah, but you still have a membership because you're a socialite. But what I'm saying is like you very clearly, after sitting down with you, we've had dinner, we've now done this podcast, we've had multiple dinners and lunch. We've eaten food together. I see that you very
Borscht.
Yeah, Borscht Belt, shout out. We're gonna get them on soon.
Yeah, they got to come on.
Yeah, it's honestly my fault for
I
not.
want to meet that guy.
I gotta actually email them back. Oops.
Sorry.
It's very visible to me that you like the walking aspect of this. Would you say you like the each grain of rice, not the whole plate of food? Where you're like meeting people, you like giving out the mugs, buying the cup of coffee. You enjoy doing those things, and that's what equals you getting exposure, which then allows you to sell houses. You don't necessarily like selling houses, you like the business of selling houses.
Yeah, I think that's true. Slightly unrelated, but another point I would say somebody I look up to said, listen, you're not in real estate because you want to be the best real estate agent ever. You're in real estate because you want to figure out ways to generate wealth. And I would agree with that, because the other hidden thing that I didn't think about when I got into it is, I now own 6 properties. There are tax benefits to the way things are. I can structure my business. There's things that are unique to being in this industry and licensed as a real estate agent that you can take advantage of, and you can, more than anything, learn. I would have never known, I've been like, what? I'm going to buy rental properties and people are going to rent from me? And oh my God, that sounds it's scary. But you get so much more knowledge and things, and you find that the wealthy, they say the wealthiest people in history have all had real estate in their portfolio. And so I just think there's more to it than just selling houses, to your point. But yeah, I like the idea of, I know you probably don't know who Mr. Rogers is, but back when...
Bill Rogers?
I don't think it was Bill.
I didn't know what his first name was. No. But sweater wearing guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he wore inside shoes, inside sweater.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It was a beautiful day in your neighborhood.
Yep.
Right. Now, one of the things that I loved about that show as a kid was when he'd go, let's go see how they make marshmallows. And then they would go off. And
that show was lit, by the way. If there's anybody listening to that show that has no idea what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. The little train.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go into
Trolley.
like the crazy land.
First off, trolley.
Trolley.
Get it right, dude.
What was it called? What
He'd
trolley?
be like, oh,
he called them trolley, yeah.
Ask
So-
me if I've seen Mr. Rogers. All right.
Were
to
you
your point.
high or as a child?
Right now, was I high?
No, when you watched Mr. Rogers.
No, I was probably sick. I was probably high on Benadryl.
That
Crack.
probably made it better.
Yeah.
Crack.
It was like you
That
stayed.
soundbite.
Mr. Rogers, there's a rumor that he was like a Navy SEAL in Vietnam.
Wow.
And the reason he wore sweaters because he had sleeve tattoos because he was time in the Navy.
And it remains unsolved?
It remains relatively unsolved.
I feel like you guys are the ones to solve this.
I'd like to leave that can closed because I'd be devastated if we found out like he was not a Navy SEAL.
Dang.
Instead, a child molester.
Whoa.
Hey guys, it
Back
happens.
to what you were saying.
Back to
What was your other point?
about your passion?
Thank you. But I feel like, maybe I remember it wrong, but I feel like that there were multiple episodes where he'd be like, let's go see, boys and girls, how this is made.
Every episode was that way where they'd be like, we're going to go to the Coca-Cola factory
Right.
and see how they put soda in cans.
So that was something that really, I wasn't like a Sesame Street kid, or that really stuck with me. And when I worked at the bank, a lot of times I'd have clients who, there were businesses. That was the main thing I was focused on, right? So I'd go out and they'd need a loan. So I'd have to bring the lender out. The lender would want to see, well, show me your process. Show me your packaging. Show me your this. And I felt like I was on the show because here we are going behind the scenes. I don't belong in here. Everybody's in a hairnet, and they're making food or whatever's going on. So that just sparked something in me. And I've always liked the process of figuring out how things get done as I'm mastering it myself. Like I said to you before, like there's this weird thing about like I kind of feel like at this point, like
You kind of
tell
do
me-
anything, right?
tell me to go work at Amtrak. I'll be the best at whatever that is there is, you know, like because it's not, if you can just be good at figuring out the manual or watching someone else and then replicating, it's almost like playing a part, I think, as an actor. Like, and like I said about being a chameleon, like I'm genuine, but I can adapt to any situation going into people's homes, whatever it is, because I read people, and I think a lot of marketing and sales is psychology. And so if you can get inside and be able to react before they have to tell you what they want, how they want it done, how, you know, there's certain cues to when you're walking through the house and stop pushing that. And you see something on the wall and you're like, oh, that's cool. Did you go to blah, blah, blah? So did my blah, 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 blah. It's a whole process. And so for me, it's not, to your point, it's not, oh, I sold a house, but it's like starting from, I don't know who you are, Mr. and Mrs. Stranger at the front door, to rolling around with their dog before you leave. And now we're best friends. And here comes the Christmas cards. And that's just a fun little journey. So that's what, like, to me, that's the excitement of the day. And I look, and every day is different. My calendar's different. And I look, and I don't know what I have tomorrow without looking at my calendar. But it'll be something probably. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Here I am I have a closing tomorrow morning, sitting in for someone in my office who has COVID. I'm going to the closing with people on both sides I've never met before. But it'll be fun. And it's a closing and whatever, you know. I just like new experiences and just change, and there's just something different every day.
I think that's a good way to end it right there.
Yeah, it's a great attitude to have.
Yeah.
Shit's awesome.
Adaptable Dave.
Yeah, liking change. That's awesome.
It's an A on my cape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
Adaptable Dave. Adaptable Dave.
go. The goggles.
We just invented a psycho.
What
here.
a great superpower. Adaptability.
Yeah, you were a chameleon, dude.
Yeah.
It could be a new training for employees everywhere.
Yeah, maybe that's your next thing, is to be like a success coach for realtors. Be like, I'm going to teach realtors. Realtors. I'm going to say it however I want. It's my show. You could be Adaptable Dave.
Right.
I'm going to teach you how to guerrilla market and be liked.
I live in a van down by the river.
Oh, damn.
Smoke crack and skateboard with my gun out. I think that was just a story about yourself.
Yeah, were you confessing something?
I'm not going to say.
All right.
Yeah, he was telling us a story about how, like, when he was a young kid, he got a flat tire and a stolen car and, like, only owned a skateboard and a gun. And that's how he got to Bloomsburg.
That's how I got home.
Yeah, he actually didn't apply to Bloomsburg. He just
Showed up.
showed up.
Teach me this now.
Well, I did
Pull
tell
up.
you that I was elected class president in Bloomsburg.
Oh.
The same week I was arrested for underage drinking.
Oh.
Do you get arrested for underage drinking? I think they give you, like, a ticket.
No.
You got arrested?
I don't think
Yeah.
they arrest you.
They definitely arrested me.
Did
What
they take
the-
you to the
Like, you don't go to
slammer?
jail.
No.
You get like a whatever.
They detained you?
Did you wear handcuffs?
No.
Then you didn't get arrested.
All right, maybe I got a violation of some sort of ticket.
Yeah.
I had to go to like
It's way cooler to say you got arrested.
Yeah, it is cool.
Just tell people you got arrested. Nobody's listening to this.
and that it's easier to say, but I had to take an alcohol and sex abuse class
Let's go.
for a semester. And
Okay.
you know what I learned, and my takeaway was,
Mm,
this is a good way to end.
don't drink and drive.
I learned the term boofing.
Oh.
Boofing.
Do we know what that is?
Yeah, I know what
Do
that
you know
is.
what boofing is?
Yeah, I thought you'd know it.
You thought I knew that?
I
We
don't
talked
know.
about
I
this?
just thought you'd know
That
this.
time you guys were talking about it.
Yeah, remember?
You showed him.
Boofing?
Yeah.
Am I going to hear this and be like, oh, yeah, I know that?
You might. I think so.
Can you tell us what boofing is? Is that appropriate?
It was apparently really widespread at Penn State, which was a school not too far from us. And so they wanted to make sure they nipped it in the bud before it took off in Bloomsburg. And basically it was the genius science of imbibing alcohol into your body through your anus, so that if you had a breathalyzer, you would
Pass
Pass.
breathalyzer?
Yep.
That is some alcohol. That you have a problem if that's how you think about it.
That shit gets you drunk like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us how you know.
I just fucking Jackass used to do it. They used to boof.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gilmore's like, this one time
Yeah, nah, I would never
we
do
were
that.
boofing on the bus.
Nah, dude.
Wasn't it Kavanaugh, the guy that was like, Is he a Supreme Court justice, or he was going
Justice
for it?
Kavanaugh.
Yeah,
Mm.
that came up. If you Google it, that came up in one of his, like, he mentioned something about in college that he got.
He boofed.
I don't.
Lit.
Well, I guess
Maybe.
it's like an acceptable behavior then.
It justifies and validates my story, though, is what's important. It wasn't just me that had to be exposed to such tragedies.
Okay. But think about this. Like, this. What if the government enabled you
To boof?
to become like a boof addict? Because you got an underage drinking, so they're like, we're going to teach you how not to drink underage, literally by teaching you how kids are avoiding drinking underage. That seems counterintuitive to like let
Which is-
other people know about it. When
Which
they
is
shouldn't.
what happened, right? Because there's a whole class of us alcohol abusers going, what? You got to be kidding me. And then 2 of them, went back and did it.
Yeah, they probably got their stomachs pumped.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I don't
no,
even know if you
I
would
think you
need
get
it.
your anus pumped.
Yeah, you said it.
It didn't make it to the stomach. Come on.
That's not how the digestive tract works, Dave. Adaptable Dave.
That's what they
We can make it work.
crack.
Crack.
It's all over Newtown. There's crack everywhere.
What if this podcast like brings like a pandemic to like the surrounding high schools of just boofing
And crack.
because of Dave?
And crack.
Dave's just trying to do a good job like spreading his guerrilla
No.
marketing techniques and ends up like getting kids in a lot of trouble.
I'm just
It's
trying to
the
help.
originator. This is ground zero here tonight.
We have a crack boofing epidemic.
Crack boofing.
Crack boofing, dude.
I feel like that would cause a lot of complications.
I feel like
Yeah.
this isn't really good for my brand.
We're not saying you endorse this. It's just something that's happening.
You were the one that brought
I don't
this
think
up.
I want to do the podcast after. Did I mention I do luxury?
Yeah.
What do you mean you do luxury? Like you live luxurious, or like
Yeah.
you just like luxury? I do that because
Yeah.
I think we all here do luxury.
Tell me how you do luxury.
Dude, look at this. I have a Westminster table clock right here, dude.
Dude.
That is pretty luxurious.
Dude, look at these. Look at these. I got art on my walls.
Is this real leather?
Yeah, that's real leather, and it's beat up by dogs because I don't care because I do luxury.
It's comfortable.
Yeah,
It is. I want to buy this couch.
yeah. Gilmore wants this couch.
Really?
I hope I have this couch forever.
You might.
I hope this just becomes just like the couch.
It's holding up.
Yeah, it's holding up pretty good. We beat it up. It's like, when you get that first mark on it, you're just, oh no. You're like, oh no, I'm sorry, honey.
It looks better that way, in my opinion.
And now it's just annihilated, and I think it looks legit.
There's some texture, character,
Yeah,
there's a story on this couch,
yeah, yeah.
What's the worst thing that's ever happened on this couch?
My dead dog threw up where Gilmore's sitting.
Let's go. Shout out Knox.
Yeah,
While it
shout
was
out.
dead?
No.
While it was dead.
Yeah, he just came, breathed his last breath, and was just like, I love you, babe.
Threw up and died.
No, he was having a day and just, got a little sick. And then Ariel hates that side of the couch now.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah,
Tainted?
It's haunted.
It's tainted.
It's haunted.
Dead
She
dog
says
vomit.
it smells bad, but nobody else smells it.
I don't smell
That's
it.
a ghost.
Yeah, and Ariel has a terrible sense of smell ever since she had COVID 2 years ago.
Dang.
But somehow she smells that.
It's a ghost.
Yeah.
It's not a real scent. It's like
I welcome his ghost. He was a legend of a dog.
He was a legend.
Yeah.
He was
Dog.
sweet but terrifying.
Yeah, he was a dog you'd want to have in your corner for a dark night.
Mm.
How old?
How old was he when he died?
Mm-hmm.
He was like 11.
It's kind of young.
I mean, he was a big dog.
He was a big boy.
Yeah,
he was a
big.
barrel.
He was a big boy. Yeah,
He was a barrel.
He was like a barrel of beer. You roll him into a fight, like everybody's getting rolled over.
Oh man, that was an athlete though.
Yeah, that dog
He was a left tackle.
when he was younger, if he hit you on a run, you like to give teeth kisses.
Yeah.
People would be like, "Does he bite?" I'm like, for legal purposes, I'm gonna say no, but stay over there.
Yeah, stay away.
Yeah, the key to being friends with Knox was to not be friends with Knox.
Yeah.
I tell people come over. I'm like, dude, he's scary as shit. But if you ignore him, 15 minutes from now, he's gonna come up to you and be like, buddy, can we be friends?
Yeah, he's gonna bring you a shoe.
Yeah, he's gonna bring you a shoe.
Yeah.
But if you tried to be his friend right off the bat, oh, you were dead to him for life. There's people that he had a problem with until the day he died because they were like, they tried to baby talk him. Ryan
Yeah.
Miller's one of those
Yeah,
people.
dude.
The guy that used to work for me that I'm still really good friends with. Gilmore does work for.
Mm.
The first time he was like, he's a dog guy. So I told him, I was like, dude, I brought Knox to work one day, and I was like, dude, Ryan, don't sweet talk the dog. Just let him be, and he'll come. Let him come to you. Ryan's like, no, you're my buddy.
Yeah.
And Knox just fucking started growling at him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you're toast.
Yeah, you fucked
And
that
every
up.
time you saw him after that, it was
Yeah.
hated Ryan.
Mm.
No,
Ryan's a nice guy.
my dog, the one that passed at 17, I think a lot of similarities. Like, and I always felt like it's like, don't treat him like a dog. Maybe he wants to be a human, and you're talking to him like a baby. Like, and I had people like that friends of mine, that they would just constantly complain about him because when they'd be here at my house, they constantly like nip at their legs and stuff behind them, but not do it to anybody else. And it was just like, you could just tell they have personalities, and I think in my case, I think as they get older, it comes out more.
Yeah.
Which
They know what they like, and they know what they don't like.
well, I think they get like this level of maturity that's like, you're in my house. Look, clearly they're not getting rid of me. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Dude,
You're going home.
I'm old. If I bite you, maybe it's a favor.
Right. You really think they're getting rid of me over that?
Yeah, I threw up on the couch, buddy. Like, a small bite's not going to get me.
Exactly.
Yeah, Knox had a body count. He definitely took out a few small dogs in interaction.
Oh, shit.
So he was a legend.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. Fort
Not
Knox.
to the small dogs, but
I mean, big dogs, small dogs. The first time he got in a fight with a dog that was also, like, it was my mom's dog. It was a Great Dane. And that dog fucked Knox up. And that was, like, when I knew. I was like, Tyson can't fight anymore.
You gotta hang him up.
Yeah, you gotta hang up them gloves, buddy. And ever since then, he was just like, I'm good with this, dude. Just let's go over here.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
how do you get his name?
The first night I had him, he was a young pup. I think he was like 12 weeks old. He like destroyed this cage. So I was like, damn, he broke out of Fort Knox. Because like me and my brother like zip tied the cage to like, I was like, he doesn't break out. He's a little rammy bastard. And dude came out, and my girlfriend at the time was a nurse, and she like had late shift.
Is this Christina?
Christina, no.
Oh.
Just saying names. Whoa, what are we doing?
You're just naming rappers' girlfriends. Is it J-Lo? No, she came home from work. We were all asleep. Walked into the house and was like, "Oh no, this isn't." It was my brother actually that did this. Dude, I'm getting old. My brother was working behind a bar. Came home, and there was just a puppy loose in the house. Made himself some food and like didn't put the puppy back in the cage. So like when we woke up in the morning, like this dog is like out and about. I'm like, what are we doing here? And then I come to find out, I was like, did you not see this dog when you came home? And like think this wasn't a dog that he should be in the crate that's right here? Yeah. And he's like, I don't know. He looked like he was doing him. Like he looked like he was all right. Like I don't know. He was. I was like, hey, there's a dog here. Like totally like unfazed.
Hell yeah. He's doing him.
All right, there's a dog here. Whatever.
So how did he get his name?
He busted the cage
Was it the
apart.
cage? Fort Knox?
Yeah,
Hell
broke
yeah.
out of Fort Knox. I was like, I guess that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good name.
My dog I got from the 17-year-old from a prison dog program. So he was in Ohio in a maximum prison, and that part of the rehabilitation for the prisoners was they were given a dog for 90 days, and they lived with them in the cell, and their job was to teach them different basic commands to these rescue dogs. And so when I got him, I got like the whole little diary and like, the prisoner wrote.
I killed my mom. I'm real sorry about that, but this is a good dog. I hope you love him.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
So we would always joke that he's going to like shiv us one time. So we gave him a lot of freedom. No crates.
Yeah.
Eats the best food.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, damn.
Dogs are great though. I like dogs better than people.
Yeah, if you don't like
No
dogs,
offense.
yeah, no offense. I mean, dude, I support you. Dave Marcolla, thanks so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Crack.
Good luck in your election season.
Yeah.
I hope you have a good year.
Vote often.
Yeah. The one thing I will leave, like, how long to joining Newtown Business Association could someone run for president?
Well, you have to be a member a year before you can join the board, and then you have to be on the board a year and elected by the board.
Okay, so I have about 2 or 3 years to take you out.
Yeah, because we were talking about that, right? You're eager to get in there.
Yeah, I'm just eager to sign up to network with Newtown.
Yeah,
100%.
It's an expansion play for you.
Yeah, I'm not about it.
You own Doylestown, so you gotta
Well,
grow.
I gotta, you gotta take over territory slowly and make the decision to move at the right time.
That's what Hitler said.
Whoa, I don't think Hitler said that. I think he was total war and took all the territory right when he
All
wanted
at once?
it. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
God,
Napoleon,
damn,
maybe?
dude.
Napoleon?
We
Did it
must be
slower.
we might be related.
You and Napoleon or you
No,
and
me
Hitler?
and this guy. He said he dropped a Hitler. I'm the only other person on this podcast to drop a Hitler joke.
Did you see the phone lines? They're blowing up.
Yeah, Gilmer's hanging up on people.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Dave Marcolla, thanks for coming on. So grateful to have you on and learn about you. And yeah, I'm glad we're friends now.
I feel mostly the same.
Cool. Thanks for everybody for
Great being
listening. Hope you enjoyed this podcast.